Hey everyone, this is Way7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online. I do have a couple new things I think going on with this stream. Mainly a little notification panel that should come up on the bottom right where I have my kin chat blurred. That should show information like when I get subscribers or channel members or tips or things like that. So it's something I'm going to be testing a little bit. One thing I don't want with that is for it to be too flashy, so it's just going to be, it's actually very small. I just position it again over the blurred kin chat. So that is what's going on with that. But today, I am going to be continuing my Warden, and actually I have to remind myself what's going on. Oh yeah, so I thought about doing Wildwood today. Oh, yeah, it actually says in the chat the Stream Elements bot is running. I have no idea what that bot does. I just enabled it, and I honestly do not have any idea what it does. So hopefully it doesn't break anything with this stream. And it looks like it's taking a minute for my chat to work. I can actually see the chat in OBS now, which is very weird. I spent way too long probably setting all that stuff up. It took me like an hour. I was hoping to start this stream earlier, but before I actually ate dinner, I was getting that set up, so it delayed my dinner a little bit. And ultimately, I don't know if it delayed this stream, but could have probably gotten started with it earlier without that. But hopefully it helps. And Death Dealer 193, you were waiting on the stream, but you forgot you were in the middle of, I have no idea what NIOH2 is, but Neo 2. And that is not good that I scared you half to death. I guess that's an unfortunate thing if you are waiting for the stream and forget it's up and then I just like randomly hear me talking. That would probably scare me as well. Looks like I have another quest to defeat 4 Warg Riders. I had that. By the way, I should probably talk about what I'm going to do. I totally forgot about that. Getting the Stream Elements stuff set up totally distracted me from that. So I actually was considering about doing like a Wildwood stream today, but I have been in the mood for progress on my Warden because I've been making so much good progress on my Warden in Gondor. I actually wrote all this in the description, but in Gondor, getting my trait points in Central Gondor with the book quest, and then Osgiliath, Ashes and Stars, and Minas Tirith especially, and even the Pelennor Fields, and now Talath Anor. I just wanted to continue that, so I am excited to continue Gondor today. Again, thought about taking a break. I really was intending to get back to Wildwood, but once I got back to my Warden in Gondor, ever since the progress started, it has not stopped, and the plan is to continue that. And hello, Jonathan Amos as well. But yeah, I thought I actually don't think I was intending to start here, but I used my return home skill and that just happened to be here, so this is a good place I think to actually start. We left off with a couple exciting looking quest sets, one for each of these camps, and I also do have to defeat Warg Riders, it looks like. So we will see how this goes. I also do want to point out one final thing is my webcam, the face cam. I slightly changed the positioning of that once again. This positioning is more comfortable to me, but it's a little bit weird. I still have to adjust. It's still different than it was before. I still think overall better than it was before, but that still does mean I have an adjustment period that I just personally have to get used to it. But I think now the background should look pretty similar to what it used to for you all overall, but if you all have any feedback on that, let me know. Again, I can potentially have myself more so out of frame on that, but the actual face cam size should be pretty similar to what it was before. I had to reset it all up, unfortunately, but I think it's fairly similar to where it was at least before. Right above the chat and taking up the same size as the chat box, basically. Okay, so inventory, I did get my subscriber town services. The big thing from that is a subscriber's jug, which it looks like I actually remember to use that this time, which is good. And I should also check my deed progress just before we get going, so I have a little bit of reference for how I am doing. So Jonathan, you think it looks fine? That is good. And Pettigrew, it looks good to you. Thank you all for letting me know. Whenever I change anything like that, I am always curious if it actually improves anything or not. So we're not in West Gondor, we're in Old Anorien, Looks like I have a couple captains and masters and that type of stuff in Minas Tirith, bellow halls. Have to discover. I think I will need all these. I will want to do these anyway for the virtue XP, of course, and they're relatively simple. So I will do these. But I think I need to do them for the quests and deeds of Old Anorien, which is what I'm working on. Also, OBS is very weird. Now the start streaming button, like before I start streaming, that button is green now. And then when I start streaming, the stop streaming button is red, and that's the opposite of what it used to be. So that's really throwing me off. When I see something red in OBS, that used to mean bad, but now it's just the stop streaming button. Okay, so Quests of Talath Anor is the main one I'm interested in right now, and I need to do 12 more quests in this area. Did not actually get any Warg Riders, so I see one here. They're very simple, with the yellow line Warden to kill. I assume the red line as well, but it's basically just Ranger Zounding Challenge, and I can go ahead and knock a couple of these out now that I see them here. See, I still, once again, I have to adjust with my setup. I feel slightly thrown off, but actually less so than yesterday because I'm positioned more towards the, I don't know if y'all can see my hand, but I'm more positioned towards this side, towards my right, which would be the left side of the screen. So what do I need to do here? I actually have no idea. Put out fires, maybe put out fires in the fields, is that what is here? Do I have a quest item to do that? I don't see one up in the quest, but I am actually not targeting anything. F10 does not target anything. I see the little glowy thing here for the fire in Fields of Flame. That is right here. So I should have an item maybe? I don't see a quest item in my inventory, but if I sorted it, it could be basically anywhere in here. If that's what it is. Or maybe I have to pick up like buckets or something. I really don't know. That is a possibility, I suppose. Here is a well, actually. So maybe we'll try that. But yeah, once again, just going back to Wildwood. That is, I enjoyed Wildwood and I was excited to actually get back to that and do the deeds on my hunter. But I don't know what it is about Gondor and this Warden, but I am really happy that I'm making a ton of progress on the Warden and really do just want to continue with that. I also am tentatively planning on doing a Gondor critical review video. I have an idea for that. I think it'll be actually interesting to review an old zone, but in very brief summary so far, I still feel like it has some issues even though I'm enjoying it. One problem I actually see with this that is going on with all the progress talk that I'm going on about with my Warden is it seems a little bit too much about the destination rather than the journey is what I'm feeling like with Gondor. So while I'm enjoying it and enjoying the journey, I feel almost too motivated by the destination to get the trait points and like knock out these deeds. So that's just one thing, one note I have about it. And I think that's perhaps one of the reasons actually I did not enjoy it too much in the past is I was always too concerned about the destination and didn't bother trying to enjoy the content. And with all the other issues like it being slow, being connected to West Rohan, which I didn't like, and all that sort of stuff, and mounted enemies. So many things like that. So Vegas Sims, you're wondering how to target in the game. F10 is to target NPCs, so you can actually use F10 and it'll target NPCs. There are no NPCs here. But delete is going to be the items that are targetable. By default, those are the default keybinds. So I usually use the delete key unless it is an NPC, then the F10 will do that. I think there was an NPC I actually targeted earlier. It was like an orc captain or something over here. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, if I press F10, that will target the orc captain. I want to see... Oh, I need to... There's another quest actually that wasn't tracked. Okay. Find to defeat the captain. Wait, the orc seems to think that you just killed their captain. He looks dead, but he's still at full health and full power, but I guess we'll just let that be. And then I also need to look around for things after I recover some more supplies. I wonder if the supplies, if those are only at this camp and I just need 5 more at this little farm area here. or if there's others. And hello, Josh Glover. It's your first time managing to catch a live stream. I'm glad you were able to catch one while it's live, at least. And Dartmoor Knight, I started playing this game a long time ago. I think I should actually put it into my memory how many years ago I started. Maybe 9.5 is what I'm thinking, roughly. Maybe a little bit more than 9.5. It was probably 9.5 at the start of this year, so almost 10 years. I don't remember the exact month that I started, but I started, I think I was about to say 2010-ish, but that would be a little bit off. I started during the Siege of Mirkwood expansion. I think a little bit before free-to-play came out, which would have been, I think, shortly before the Rise of Isengard expansion, like very shortly before. Okay, so I still need to search for supplies. What is this quest? Fields of Flame? Oh, did I not finish that? I honestly thought that I finished Fields of Flame. That is, okay, that is the recovering the supplies. Yep, that is here, so I should recover 4 more supplies. I wonder where I've missed. Maybe, okay, I didn't actually go to these buildings. That's where I'm guessing, at least, the supplies could be. I think one of the book quests I need to look around somewhere. Okay, here's a good place to look. I might have already done that. I was just clicking this thing as it was going on. I think that's what the No One's Been Here recently was about. Yeah, Dartmoor, I started, yeah, a long time ago. I've taken many breaks throughout the game, but more recently I've been playing consistently, relatively consistently, besides one big break in 2020 and the end of 2019. Probably more so, actually, the end of 2019. Oh, I need to look around. Okay, let's see if this quest is good progress. So I just need more of the thingies, supplies. One more supply, actually. So Vegas Sims, you have noticed that people playing are so nice. I hope people playing LOTRO are nice. It's a lot of people in the community think the community is pretty good with the game, so it's good to hear that you have run into a lot of nice people, it sounds like. So you've even had people give you free gold, you were offered kinship, and oh, the leader made you a full set of armor. That is one nice thing about LOTRO that I also find people are often willing to craft players' armor, especially new players or people without that many resources, because for people who have their crafting set up and do a lot of crafting, I think it is fun for them. For me, when I enjoy crafting, I do like to craft gear for people, and otherwise a lot of crafting resources just almost go to waste or just sit there for people, so it's probably actually exciting for them to actually get to use something and help somebody out with that. Okay, so got those 2 quests done, and then we have 2 more in the southeast. I do need to defeat the Warg Rider, and it's honestly a lot easier off mount. I just need to hit them with that. I think I need 1 more Warg Rider, maybe? Or maybe I already got all 4. That's possible as well. Yeah, Riders of War, I finished that. That is the Warg Rider one. So I have 3 quests, it looks like, in the other camp. I wonder if I can jump that river. Sounds more exciting than going all the way to the bridge. We'll have to try that. So Dartmoor, I do a mixture of playing alone in dungeons. So I have a kinship, and that is actually the main reason I play on the Anor server, and the main reason is actually for playing with people and doing dungeons and raids and that type of stuff. Okay, let's jump there, and oh, that's actually a lot of rivers like that. They're just like deep enough to knock you off your mount, but that one did not with me. So I mainly play on the North server to play with my kinship, and we do group content. And when I'm not playing with them, I usually play solo as far as like leveling and questing, so I try to do a healthy mix of both of those. But I think at least having a group, at least a kinship, even if you play solo, I think having a kinship's a very important part of the game. Or any MMORPG, just having a guild a group of people to play with, I think, is important. Like, play with, in quotes, because even if you play solo, just people to talk to, people to share stuff with, maybe get armor crafted for you. So James Beveridge, hello to you, and you're surprised lower you've surprised lower characters out of the blue with new gear after checking theirs to see if what you have is better. Yeah, that is a nice type of thing. Exactly what I was talking about. I also think the chat, I don't know if you all notice it, but I turned the delay. Well, I can't actually change the delay, but I switched to low latency mode. It could potentially cause a little bit of lower quality with the video. I don't know how much. I think that would be more so from the viewer's end than my end, maybe. So hopefully there's no issues with people having to buffer a lot or anything like that, but the chat should be less delayed from when you actually send a message to when I see it. I don't know where I needed to look around. We just went somewhere. I can just hit this button and spam emotes in the chat and I'll get this quest done eventually. I wonder if this captain's already going to be dead, or if I'll have to actually kill a captain for once. Wonder if this is the farmhouse. Oh, maybe it was the one back here. There we go. Now I need to defeat Suhalar, so I'll defeat a bunch of those probably, and barricades and tents, that's the big thing I need to do. Also, just to share briefly some of my upcoming plans. I know last night I did not have too many solid plans for this weekend, but that is a good thing about me needing some time after a stream to actually be able to go to sleep. So I cannot play games or stream or anything then go to sleep right after that. I usually have to do something, and that gave me some time to actually think about what I want to do this weekend, and that is how I decided I would stream today. Is Friday, I plan to take off streaming, but I will try to have a video. There's no real guarantees with that. I have to actually find what I want to record. I have a couple options actually for videos I can record. It's just one of them I really don't know how it will go, and another it could take a lot of time to edit, so that would be the concern about actually getting a video on Friday. But the good news is I actually have Friday off from school and work, so while I might do a little bit of both of those, I can commit my time to maybe editing in the morning a little bit more than I usually would be able to. So that could help me with getting a video on Friday. And then Saturday, I will probably do a relatively long stream. That is the current plan, at least. I don't know if I'll do like an all-day type stream, but just having a 4-day weekend total for me, that usually opens me up to do a longer stream sometime during that. So I don't know what that will be. I actually really have no idea what I could do for a long stream. It'll probably be continuing Gondor on my Warden, but depending how much progress we make tonight, I might honestly not have that much else to do. I'll have Volume 3. I do want to actually go back and do Volume 3. I believe that one I get a Crystal of Remembrance as the big reward that I can get from that. And also getting the experience, that's something if I had time I wanted to go back and do, and because of, again, all the progress I've been making on this Warden, I definitely have that time. I also wouldn't mind just for fun doing the Osgiliath quests. I think those could be fun to go through. So there might be a lot of options for things that I don't necessarily need to do. Oh, Tarling's Crown, there are a lot of options. Just like thinking about things, there are a lot of options I have for questing that is not necessarily related to my current adventure, I guess, trying to get trait points and do Old Anorien. I can go back and fill in some things that I skipped over, and again, I saved in case I had time to do stuff to do that. And one of them was Tarling's Crown, because I would be excited to try all of that solo on this character. Okay, I actually only need to destroy 2 barricades. I'm questing relatively fast right now. At least fast for my usual pace of questing. Oh, there's the captain. I guess I already defeated the captain because that is no longer an objective I have. Okay, they all have the dot, so I can start looking for barricades. I actually see at least one. So I guess my goals to go over today, my goal is to finish the quest of Talath Anor deed. I think that would be good to go ahead and get done and just knock out this area. I don't know what all the quests, where they will all lead to. I'm guessing there will be something at that camp at least, but I really have no idea what will be going on with the quest after this, if there are any good repeatable ones that will come up or not. The quest of Pelennor, I can do just one more of the repeatable set at Northgate, and that will actually finish that for me. Then there are a lot of Slayer deeds and that type of stuff I can do. A lot of those, I think the Troll Orc, maybe even Haradrim Slayer. I'm actually not sure with Haradrim, but I'm guessing all of them can be found on the Causeway Forts, that's area in eastern Old Anorien. So I really want to save completing the advanced deeds if possible. At least, I don't know where I am going. I'm going on a little adventure. We need to go to Krithos, the town there. I decided to take a totally weird route, but yeah, the Slayer deeds, it would be nice to also get some progress with that, just thinking what this character needs to do. So I don't know if I would work on that too much today. That is once again something I could do Saturday, is get progress on that, but again, it would be ideal for me if I actually finish that on the Virtue XP weekend. So I keep talking about this Virtue XP weekend, and that is about 3 weekends from now. About 3 weeks from now, rather. It would be, I guess, technically 4 weekends from now. But that is April 22nd to 26th. It's plus 20% Virtue XP. And getting as many deeds as I can done in that period would just mean I could get a lot more Virtue XP for this character who needs the virtues ranked up. I'm at the point where I think it can be good to actually switch to DPS virtues. I had Tolerance and Fidelity up for the Tactical Mitigation, but there might be some things that I could use the Tactical Mitigation for, and of course having the passives from those would actually be nice. That'd be a little bit more relevant, I think, at higher levels. Again, I know the passives, if you have all those up on all the virtues, is actually pretty significant at level 130. But it just would be nice for this character to get as many virtues leveled up as I can, so get as much Virtue XP as possible during that. I also noticed loyalty is very close to the cap. I'm at 49 on that. Hello, the old man. As we wait for everything, that was a little bit weird with everything loading in the building, but 5 quest turn-ins. That was a pretty fun set of quests. Really, all of Gondor has been surprising me how fun it is, just because of how low I held it in regards, like, my opinion about it. Okay, so a couple quests it looks like this time. I will say this zone, Talath Anor, looks like I'm ally with the defenders of Minas Tirith, which is nice. But with this particular camp, Krithos, this zone, I will say it has been a little bit less exciting overall. It's been fun, but I don't quite like it as much as some of the previous areas in Gondor. The main reason being is it seems like I'm often getting a couple quests at once. Last time I had 5 quests, and I like having a lot of quests at once. That went to 2 camps, so it's kind of split between the 2, but still, that was, I think, the most fun quest that we have done with Talath Anor so far. Oh no, do not leave, stand my ground to defend, okay. Sometimes getting 1 or 2 quests isn't bad depending where it leads to, so we'll see where these 2 lead to. That just reminded me of that. Yeah, Quests of Old Anorien, I get a class trait point for that, and then the Deeds of Old Anorien, which will require quests, and then I don't even know what all the Deeds of Old Anorien requires. Actually, I forgot everything it does, but at least the Exploration and Slayer Deeds I know. I wonder if I actually will need to get the Defenders of Minas Tirith to Kindred or not. I think sometimes those require, the meta deed for the whole region requires, like, Reputation. Oh yeah, another thing I'd like to do is get my relic situated. I think I still need to make one more relic. I need to make for my... Let's see, I have it for my spear, so for my javelin I need to make a true rune of the White Mountains. I think I just used the same game it twice on enemies that already have that debuff, but that is okay. I'm staying here anyway. I think regardless of how fast I kill the enemies, I still have to stay here the full time. One of them's actually ranged. I'm kind of surprised they threw a ranged mob at us in this. Fortunately, as a warden, I can just be in the range stance and deal with that. I guess if I were actually melee, I really need to move that muster Minas Tirith. I'm going to accidentally travel there one time. But if I were melee, oh no. I just stepped out of the area, I guess. Never mind. If I were melee, I would not do that. I'm really surprised. That was very... I did not have to walk that far outside of the little area here for that to fail the quest after all that time. I just wanted to move up to where the mob spawned to show if I were melee, like if I were a champion, I would just move there because that's where the mob spawned, so dealing with a ranged enemy would be no problem there because that would be where they spawn. But I guess the game did not want me to actually give a visual demonstration of that. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the good side of failing that. Or I guess silver lining would be the better thing to call it than the good side, but I get Slayer D progress, I guess. That is what I get. Okay, while we are traveling, I will go ahead and I think I need to reforge an ally, it looks like. And I need to reforge my bridle. I might actually set up my bridle. See what I can do with that to maybe improve my mounted combat a little bit. It's really bad on the Warden, but I'm going to make sure I'm just going to stand here. I won't even move. Let's see, filter this. I am still getting third age items. Okay, so I need to apply item XP to one of these third agers. I have one that's level 40, and then I have a couple that are level 27 it looks like. Maybe one of the level 27 ones I can go ahead and do. Hello, Ivan Stainer. Things are going pretty well. I do have a slightly updated my setup a tiny bit again, mainly just moved my position to my right. So we're kind of going back to having the shelf here. And I don't think this little dog statue minifigure thing, I don't know what to call it, but that thing actually visible. And the shelf and the table again. Because the other setup, it just didn't really work out that well for me. I felt like I was way too far left. I was actually sitting left of the monitor, and I like to sit almost center, slightly set to the right of the monitor, and I was basically on the opposite side of the middle before, trying to actually have the map basically be the only thing in the background. I still think it was good to test, it just didn't work out all too well for me, ultimately. Okay, this time I successfully defended by not moving up too far. So for anybody that does this quest, I really do not recommend moving this far away, because then you will leave the place unguarded. Oh, I need to defend the southern entrance? Well, maybe I will go ahead and do these things and then loop back to the southern entrance. Oh, don't need to cross yet. So there's the gray wood. I believe is where I'm looking at. As far as I know, maybe you can actually get up there. I don't really remember. It does look like you would be able to go up there. I'm actually excited. I did not know that was a part of this zone. Or I didn't know based on the map what that was, and because I have not done Talath Anor before, I did not know that there was somewhere like that here. That'll be interesting to check out. At least I don't remember too much like that in Gondor. I don't know what to describe it as besides like almost Mirkwood-like spiders and type of stuff. There's actually the wood people tarling there. I think that's what they're called. Oh, I need to go north now. Okay, hopefully I hit enough of those mounted enemies with Ranger sounding challenge that they'll start dying. I did not know that I pulled this many enemies. That's actually a little bit scary. Okay, it looks like some of them. I really don't know how I pulled this many or when I pulled this many. I know I'm focusing on the quest trying to get that done, but they're being extra annoying, I guess, today. Okay, so that should be all I need to do there. I need to retrieve, actually, the strange staff. Staff does not look orcish. I thought it did look a little bit strange. I expected it to look like a staff that like Lore Master in this game might use, but it looked a little bit different than that as well. Okay, better with this one. Also stay here so I don't fail that. I almost want to stay in the ground effect. I think I can move, at least here, just to get out of that. My inventory is a mess, but at least it looks a little bit like a mess at first, but everything kind of makes sense with it. There are a couple of yellow pieces of gear, even these purple pieces of gear that I'm probably not going to use. I'm kind of saving them for cosmetics, but my vault is full, so I can't put them in there, so they're just kind of stuck in my inventory and clogging up space. Did not want to use Fierce Resolve, but that is okay. I will have it in battle memory for the next group, or it will disappear. But yeah, my inventory is going to be concerned because I will keep getting these Virtue XP things, and with my vault being full, I can't actually just save them in my vault. I'll have to try to do something about that. Also, my crafting mats, it might seem like I have a lot of those as well, but I just keep stacking the same type over and over, so as long as I keep questing and doing things, if I like sent these to an alt, I would actually just keep getting them over and over, so I'm just keeping them in my inventory here. So Ivan, I am saving up all these Virtue XP tokens because there's going to be a Virtue bonus weekend coming up April 22nd to the 26th, so that'll be plus 20% Virtue XP. So I'm going to save all my Virtue XP tokens for that, so I can take advantage of the 20% boost on all those. But the concern is how much inventory space they take up. I could actually send all of them to an alt, because they are bound to account, so I could send them to an alt, and then when the weekend actually comes up, just send them back to this character. That is an option. It might be what I have to do anyway. Let's see, I need to... Yeah, that's actually something with the item XP. I'll see if I have anything I can actually use those on. So I need to forge this a few times, and hopefully that will actually level it all the way up. That did, so now I can deconstruct it. I might have to do this a few times, so we might actually be able to use up a few of the item XP. Heritages. Okay, so I have a bunch of little ones that I might be able to use. And all these scrolls, like the Scrolls of Empowerment, I am mostly just saving those until I see what I can barter for as far as like max tier ones, because I would rather save these. It's kind of annoying with the strategy, but I would rather save these high max tier ones and utilize all the lower max tier ones that I can before I resort to using these. Now, I probably will end up using these anyway, to be honest, but I do want to see what I get first, just in case I can save them and really maximize. And the crafting scrolls, I probably won't use those, but I will just keep looting them anyway, so they'll keep going into my inventory. So while I could even filter them, I'd rather at least get them, and I can send them at the very least to somebody in my kin that might be able to use them.
The city may not be as bright as it once was, but it still is strong. Minas Tirith will hold, I'm sure of it.
See, to survive the night, I need to do two things: collect deer hides and collect branches to survive the night. I don't know who's trying to survive the night, if I'm just trying to survive the night with that stuff. I almost feel like this is a type of quest. Actually, it's not even in that Deadwood, whatever it was called, place. There's probably stuff I can sell on the AH here, but there's nothing I really want to. Also, all these essences. The annoying thing about essences is a lot of these I probably won't use. So for example, the agility one, I think I could sell those. Physical mitigation I probably won't use. Max morale I probably won't use. The yellow ones I probably won't use because I could get better ones from the skirmish camp. So that's actually something I could free some space in my inventory from, if I really feel the need for inventory space. So deer hides and branches. Wonder if the boar would give me deer hides. Nope. I really wonder where the branches come from, though. If I just have to find a bunch of random branches on the ground, or what is going on with that? I actually just targeted something. Poplar branches, so this is from crafting from the forester, so that won't be for the quest. Okay, this one should give deer hides at the least. I don't know if an enemy, I almost feel like the Fen Hunters could drop branches for some reason, but I don't think any enemy actually would. I was just trying to think of something that would make the most sense of all the enemies here, but I do not know of any. Unless for branches, maybe the bucks, their antlers would somehow count as branches. I really doubt that as well, and it does not look to be the case. Branches are probably in the more forested areas, if I had to guess, but I really don't know. Okay, so Ivan, you use everything you can, then sell things you know you won't ever use. So you get a lot of rage, it sounds like, if you ever get full bags. Oh, no, you don't get a lot of rage, you meant rare. It's very rare that you ever get full bags. Okay, see if there are any branches here. I will actually turn my floating names on. And I also don't like having a full inventory, but the reality is I have all these potions, and some of them are basically useless and I could just use them and get rid of them. Actually, I think most of the ones I have are useful, but that's just the type of stuff that I actually have to run into a situation where I want to consume them, even though most of the time that deer I cannot kill. This one I can. Even stuff like all these crafting materials, that stuff, is stuff I could eventually use, I think. And it's mainly if my vault weren't full. My vault is mainly full of cosmetic stuff and just random armor that I could definitely get rid of if I really want to. I could clean that, but my inventory right now at least is manageable. I would definitely rather it be cleaner and more empty, but because it is manageable and not constantly overflowing, or just even if it had only 1 or 2 free slots. There are a bunch of strawberries. Still not actually seeing any branches here. It'll eventually show on the quest tracker where they are, or maybe the forest down here is where they are. But once I actually kill all the deer that should show me where the branches are, and I think I need just this one. I'm still not seeing branches in this area. I thought this little forested area might have some, but that does not appear to be the case. And one of these actually did not even hit it somehow with my gambit. Alright, let's see. Yeah, all the branches are in that other forested area. I probably should have headed there from the start, just because that's like the bigger forested area. Would definitely make sense. Alright, I do have to check, just while we're traveling, what my progress is with the quest of Talath Anor, and I'm actually getting close to done with that. I did not realize I've done this many quests already, so that's exciting. I just have 4 more quests that I need to do for the deed after this. Okay, so I think this part of the river might not be crossable, but even with the bridge there, I think I want to try. Okay, so actually I need to wait until I'm out of combat and hope I don't get in combat again. Let me check where I am. Okay, so with the legendary items, let me see if I can do some relic combination. Maybe. There we go. Tier 4. Don't have any in tier 4. I do have some in tier 5. I'm trying to get one more tier 9 relic. I don't know if it'll be possible. Wow, I got a lot of tier 7 there. It might actually help. That might give me enough to get a tier 9 relic, and it does look like that. So I am going to be, as far as I know, after that I should be done with my relics. I need an Eastamnet 80. I need True Rune of the... Let me make sure. I don't think it's Darkwood. I think it's White Mountain that I need. That'll give me minus attack duration and a bunch of physical mastery, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then the last one, I actually do need gems, but those are a little bit less important. They're easier to get, basically. So slot this for the javelin. So that's exciting that I just got that boost of physical mastery and of course the minus attack duration. Okay, we should almost be to the area it looks like I need to be. Try to squeeze by these 2 mobs and I'll go ahead and get on my war steed. Let's see. I did want to look at the relic combination just because I was thinking about it and saw it. The mounted relics. I wonder how hard those are to make. Bunch of tier 9 ones, I wouldn't really care about that. That's a lot of minus attack duration. How much I can say. Basic mounted, maybe that would be something good. No, don't want that. Don't want that. The endurance actually could be a little bit helpful. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what war steed strength does. I would have to look into that again. I don't know if that's how fast it gains fury or something. Agility, I think, affects how fast it can turn, how mobile the war steed is. And endurance would be, like, I think gives it morale. Okay, here are the branches that I need. If all goes right, I can stay on the war steed and just do that. I do wonder if, after all this time, if I have gained enough damage on the war steed that actually wouldn't be too bad trying to kill an enemy on it. I think in general on the war steed, at least with the Warden, what I have, the little bit I've paid attention, is the red Dawn Discipline does more damage, even though the yellow one is convenient because it is ranged. I think the red one does more damage, but something both of those on my ward at least have always done so little damage that I don't even bother paying too much attention to it. And Andrew McKinnon, thank you for the comment that strength increases the war steed damage, so that is good to know. I definitely would like strength then. I believe I have done that already. I have agility and strength there. That's actually a lot of strength that I boosted it by. At higher levels, I have a lot of war steed points to spend. Looks like endurance is another one I was working on. I actually do think maximum power could be relevant. Wonder why I wasn't going into the blue. Also need one more, might as well get that mastery. That's a tiny amount of mastery, I really don't know if it matters. Fade rating block. Can't believe I'm actually looking at this, but... Coming, outgoing, healing, don't really care about that. This one restores power. It's a 3-minute cooldown, but if I am on the war state a lot, I actually do run out of power. I really don't like to be on the war state a lot in general, so I'll just do that and look for some more branches. So Andrew, you always go yellow with the light steed for the dismount chance on your Warden. Okay, that actually does sound useful. Again, I have not looked into it too much with the Warden. I usually, at higher levels, I go, yeah, as you mentioned, the medium steed at level cap, because you can get, for people that don't know, on the medium steed, there's a blue trait, if I remember correctly, that all the damage you take, instead of going to the war steed, or all the damage that your war steed would take goes to you instead, so you won't get dismounted. And you can just have a bunch of enemies hitting you and not get dismounted like you normally would. And at this level, I feel like it's still... I don't get dismounted quite enough where I feel the need to sacrifice a little bit of movement speed just for that. I'm mainly in the light steed, just like it for the movement speed. Wow, somebody will pay 30 gold per level. Okay, that's better. I was going to say 30 gold for level 22 to 30. Power leveling is very, very cheap and would be, in my opinion, a bad deal for whoever decides to do that power leveling. Random time I just like see something in world chat, but that's why I like having it up. I like sometimes when I'm streaming commenting on that. But 30 gold per level from 22 to 30, I honestly still don't know if that would be worth it for me, for my time to do that, but some people it might be. Okay, I need one more branch. I feel like I have not been to the southwest area too much in that little shape there. So we'll see if any are down here. Poplar branches, not the ones I need for the quest. I need plain old generic branch. It's still, every time I look over, it still kind of bugs me out that the stop streaming button is now red in OBS. Because as I mentioned, red used to mean bad, but that's just the color of the stop streaming button now. I think I can actually go in the blue, and I have some defensive skills that could just help me survive a little bit better here. Some of them also heal, and since I can just use them like this, might as well do it. I don't remember which ones heal, but my morale is getting healed up. This one, maybe. Yeah, this one gave me plus 1586 morale and plus 1586 for the war steed as well. So that's actually something when I'm just running around and not really worried about killing something on the war steed, I do think going into blue, I kind of remember that now, can be helpful just to hit those skills to stay alive. Alright, speak with Tolwyn, complete a bunch of quests, so this should be the last thing I need to do in Talath Anor. I think when we go out I might have a war steed, a mounted enemy rather, going after me. Maybe not, maybe I'm just stuck in combat. I actually see them, there they are. Alright, got one hit with the skill I needed to get a hit on, so there they go, there they died. Okay, so use the whistle and see where we need to go.
If my mother were here, she'd know what to do now.
So we're searching for Duna. One thing odd with Gondor that I almost feel like is it almost in a way to me feels a little bit more oppressive than Ingmar and Mordor, which I think sounds really weird and might not always be the case, but because it is a green area and a place that doesn't really seem like it should be dark shadowed skies the whole time, it almost makes it feel worse to me than being somewhere where you'd expect it. Like Ingmar, you expect it to be dark the whole time, or at least I expect it to be dark. I expect it to be evil the whole time. But Gondor is such a nice place that, because it seems like it should be nice, it's like outdoors, open, green fields, all that sort of stuff. It actually does feel sometimes more oppressive, I guess, is how I feel about it sometimes. I wonder, I might have actually needed to discover this place for a deed, so that might have actually been useful. And it does even say discovered Parth Forent. Wonder if that'll be the case. It looks like there's a field there. I wonder if I need to discover that as well. Well, these little streams are kind of nice because they're just shallow enough that I can stay mounted through them. Okay, so look for signs at the farmhouse. Oh yeah, that's what we were doing earlier, looking for Duneth. Looks like I got some more quests for him, from him, and I guess for him. Alright, that guy looks like he is one that needs to get killed. Although I wonder if this is a named NPC, but I don't have a quest for him. So I wonder what that's about. I almost feel like I will get a quest for him, but we'll see. Oh, I got my virtue cap with loyalty, so the next one I should be earning is not honor. Probably wasted a little bit of virtue XP on honor, but that is okay. Wit will be the next one I plan to work on for this character. Kind of revised my strategy a little bit. It's still the same overall strategy actually with the virtues, but I'm at the point where I've revised my plan as I covered earlier. Loyalty, wit, then valor, then confidence and determination. I'm not sure. I'd have to actually look at these two to compare which one I want of confidence versus determination, and it could almost actually be dependent on if I need finesse or if I need critical rating, then I would go with confidence. But if I just generally need stats, I think I could get more overall out of determination maybe. They're both rank 10. I guess technically confidence is rank 11 because I have a +1, maybe from like a high elf racial trait maybe. Let me actually see. There it is. Yeah, confidence is one from that. But anyway, even with these numbers, this has a lot of critical rating and finesse. I will give confidence that. I'd also have to look at the level 130 or the level 74 versions to see how the stats change, because sometimes the virtues scale very weirdly with level, like a lot of things in LOTRO. So for example, I've talked about this before, but honor and fortitude are relatively stronger compared to loyalty as far as the maximum morale they give, which I feel like they should be. They give morale and not vitality. But loyalty at higher levels gives more total morale from the vitality plus all the other benefits that you get from vitality. So it's a lot better than the other ones. You get resistance, I think, is the main other benefit. So it's not really too significant, but you actually get more morale from a vitality virtue than a max morale virtue, which to me doesn't make much sense, but that is the way it works. Anyway, we need to go to the farmhouses. I believe there's one right here that I need to search for Duneth. And then another one. I also need to, I actually do need to defeat some siege builders and destroy lumber piles. I have not seen many lumber piles. There's one over there. I saw one and I destroyed that one. There's some Mordor archers. Might as well defeat all these enemies. Okay, I normally don't like floating names on, so go ahead and turn that off at least while there's a bunch of stuff going on. There are a couple lumber piles, okay. But yeah, with the virtues, wit is the next one I'm working on. Also there's zeal. That would actually be if I really don't need critical rating, or if I don't need finesse from wit, or I really don't need the defenses from loyalty. Like if I just have absolutely no use for the vitality, for the morale, I could actually go for zeal on the Warden, because the might would actually give me physical mastery plus the secondary and tertiary. Both of those. I think it was physical mastery and critical rating from that, so that would be something. I'm completing a lot of deeds today. I should have looked at my LOTRO points at the start of today. So I got my 500 from being VIP relatively recently. We need to go back here to look around. Find and defeat Gurdru. We already found and defeated him. But anyway, you all can't see the LOTRO store actually. But I have 4376 LOTRO points, which means I have gotten about 1 to 200 from my recent stuff in Gondor on my Warden. Okay, need more siege builders. Trying to combine the name, well, just the two words siege and builders at the same time. Wow, Gurdru has a tiny bit of health. But he is no more. We're getting the lumber piles, doing good with that. There's a siege builder right here. So I will need 2 more siege builders after this one. That guy, I was going to say he looks like a siege builder. Looks like he's building a house, or at least trying to build a house. Then there are a couple plain old generic orcs right here. There's a corpse and a backpack that I can loot, but I should probably, let's go ahead and go to the vendor just to clean out my inventory. The nice thing about having the most OP item in the game, at least in my opinion, it's the most OP, the subscriber town services. Also, to free up an inventory slot, I can go ahead and destroy that. If I can, the old town services. Then 1 more lumber pile. Actually, I need 2 more lumber piles. I need 1 more siege builder, but there is 1 more lumber pile here. Then there should be 1 more lumber pile somewhere else. I actually see dismantling their efforts. See a quest ring icon here. It's probably for the siege builder though. So I can continue trying to find the last lumber pile. And I see one, but it's not glowing, so it's probably one I've already gotten. That one right there. See, I feel like I've already searched around this area and been around this area. So I'm not sure there would be a lumber pile here, but it was like the only spot that I also thought that there could be a lumber pile. Maybe there's one towards the middle of the camp that I missed, or even that southern area, or that's not actually southern, I'm facing northeast. Yeah, there's a lumber pile I need. Oh, so it's the search for Duneth that actually will go into the woods. I was like, it seemed like we were building up the anticipation for going into the woods than did seemingly unrelated stuff. Getting stuff to survive the night, I guess, as we go out camping. That's why I thought we'd go to the woods, but it just took a minute to actually get to that. And do I still have, I don't have the NPC with me. I am in combat with something, but I have no idea what. It's actually probably the quest NPC that is in combat with something. Actually, it is me. It's the archers. There's more than one archer. Because I thought there were more things in combat with me, and then I did not see any, but it's these archers. I can't actually jump over that, and the archers are going to be annoying today. Or I think I hit them all with Range's Outing Challenge this time. There we go. Alright, let's speak with Tolwyn. I believe we are good to enter the woods. Actually, I need to defeat Mordor loggers, which are just up to the north. There's actually a warband down here. I want to go ahead and get that. I think that would also help with the quest of Talath Anor deed that I am working on. As far as I know it will, at least. I don't know if I can get this warband. If it's a mounted one, that would be pretty tough. If it's not a mounted one, it's level 103. I think this one should put up an interesting challenge. I will state the DPS spec. By the looks of it, this won't necessarily be one that I need to like switch to tank spec to be extra safe with that. I also do get some survival stuff. It looks like he was immune to something, but I don't actually think it was a slow. Must have been something else. But there are surprisingly a few survival tools that you get in the yellow line that could make it easier to solo stuff like this on than the tank spec right now, especially with how weak the morale tabs are at the moment. or the morale taps, but the self-healing in general on the Warden. And I do have the morale taps in the range spec, and they're actually still useful damage-wise because I can apply the Shattered and Barbed Javelin, so it's good to keep those up, oddly enough, in the yellow line. And it will give me some healing, even though the primary use for them is actually the AoE damage at this point. Alright, so I am going to switch to the melee stance briefly. I do have Seize the Moment, so I can apply all the melee dots and get a little bit extra damage for momentum. And then switch back to ranged. I still need the one more Sihular Warrior. Use Dark Before Dawn to gain some power. And then back to the morale taps. Actually, I have not had Never Surrender. I'd rather not use a potion if I don't need to, just because I'm running relatively low. So I will just keep healing up here and use Ranger's Howling Challenge as well. He has a lot of morale that I do have to get through, I will say that. Go ahead and knock him down. Assuming he can be knocked down, he cannot be knocked down. I'm guessing when it says immune when I use the Hampering Javelin, that means he is immune to slows, it looks like. But yeah, the main thing for me to really keep up are my heal over times. There we go, we got Seize the Moment. It's so hard for me to kite with my current keybinds, which is kind of unfortunate. It'd actually be better, I think, for me to click. Which is something I really do oddly think it is better for me to click in some situations. But I've gotten so used to using keybinds that it does feel odd to me actually going back to that. Okay, I think he can be slowed again. I think I can go into melee. I have a lot of morale right now. I can take a few hits. Plus, I feel like I'm probably could be making some people dizzy with all that spinning around in circles. Okay, one more bleed. Actually, this is really weak bleed. It's probably not even worth putting on in a situation like this. There we go. I am curious. Let's see if that counts for the quest of Talath Anor Deed. Assuming I have not finished the quest of Talath Anor Deed. I have not. I still have. Okay. Let's see. That did go to 23 with that, so that is good to know. If anybody is curious, you can just do the warbands. You can do them daily, and that would count for that deed. If you don't want to do the main questing, maybe if you already brought a character here, just to get something, a little bit something of a different experience, even though it would be repetitive with the warbands over and over, I think, but it is an option. Plus, I think I will need the warbands anyway for... There's another warband in the northwest. I should probably seek that one out because I think there is a deed where I will need to kill the warbands. At least there's something like that in Western Gondor, so I assume it kind of stays the same. Follow the trail of... Oh, we're going into these woods, not those woods. That makes more sense why it had me go here with the Mordor loggers. As unfortunate as that is. Okay, there is a trail of footprints. I did not see where that led, but there's a little blue circle right there. I think that's the one I need to head to. And the Mordor loggers, I believe, according to the map, they're maybe only in this area where they're actually cut trees, so that makes sense. Somehow I thought I killed more than 4 of those. Okay, I believe if I follow these footprints, they should just take me to that place in the northeast. One of the quests is actually Doorstep of Care Andros over here. So I'm guessing that's where this quest is going to lead. The search for Duneth continues, and then it's the doorstep, so maybe we'll actually see Duneth here and go to Care Andros next. But I do not know.
I haven't slept in days.
There's Duneth. Couldn't tell by the name, but that actually looks like a female, a woman.
She'd know what to do now. I haven't slept in
Talk to
days.
Gel Kepper. And it is actually at Care Andros, but I'm not sure I will actually do these. I might save these quests as one of those things that I can go back to, because what I want to do is see if I can find that warband. I believe there is one more warband in the zone, at least one more that I have seen. And let me check. Warbands. Yeah, Old Anorien roaming enemies. So I think there's one more in this zone. I wouldn't mind going ahead and knocking out, especially considering how far and like out of the way compared to other stuff it would be. So that is the next thing I have. But we did complete the quest of Talath Anor, so that is good. One more step in my quests and deeds of Old Anorien progress. Still have some things to do in Minas Tirith. I have the book quest to do in Minas Tirith. Probably kind of forgot about those. So that's probably something I also will want to do today. Go ahead and get that done as well. Which is actually, if I'm just going to get this warband, probably what's going to be coming up next. It looks like I was kind of curious when I actually sunk down to my chair and leaned back and had my feet up if I would be falling too much out of the frame, but it does not look like it. It looks like it's pretty similar, maybe overall, to what it used to be like. So that is good. Just when I moved my monitor and I was able to move it, even though where it was previously, I was like with the stand type thing, it was as high as it could go, but it was, as I mentioned, leaning down, so it's actually higher now, even though it's at kind of the same, I guess, setting, same spot would be the better way to put that on the stand. So that is one thing that changed, other than just actually moving the position, but I think the position is relatively similar to what it used to be, maybe still a little bit on my right. Moved. Okay, so hopefully a warband. I think there can be a warband here, at least I thought I've seen it on the map. But hopefully one pops up after all that travel. I finally got knocked off my war state. I know a bunch of things were running after me. Hopefully I can just run away from them. But if not, I can deal with them if need be. I also have to look into the rewards that you can get from doing Far Anorien. It's a place that looks interesting enough that I might quest there just for fun. I'm probably thinking I will. I know right now, this is one of the issues I did mention earlier, but that it almost feels like too much with Gondor for me. I'm just worried about actually getting progress rather than doing all the quests, getting a full zone experience. So right now I still feel like I am focusing on the journey and focusing on having fun, but I am prioritizing my time where I want to get progress on stuff that is beneficial for this character before I just like do more stuff for the full complete experience. This is actually open. I guess back in the day it was probably blocked, but on this server it's still the same game world that we have on the regular server, so it's not blocked, but if you go over there, it will port you back to Kellendam. Alright, I am going to look on the LOTRO wiki for the warbands of Old Anorien. Okay, there are 3 in Talath Anor, actually. There's one at the northeast corner, so a little bit east of where I am. And then there is another one. I wonder if the one I already got was the Fellowship version, maybe? There is another one in the far southeast corner. So I got the one in the southeast, but there's one in the southeast corner that's right next to Osgiliath, it looks like on the LOTRO wiki map. But hopefully I can deal with these solo. I don't remember the one I got, if it was to Perta or if it was Mazur. That was not Mazur. As fun of a name as that would be, that's not what it was. So basically I'm headed to one of those now. This one is Mauser. So this is going to be a small fellowship one. So we'll see if it's easier than the last one. I really don't remember the one I did, if it was fellowship or small fellowship. It seemed like it could be either. Could have been a relatively difficult-ish small fellowship one. But warbands are usually easy, that I would expect that. Oh no. This one looks like it's full fellowship, maybe even raid difficulty, just because it's mounted enemies. Even though it's not really. That's just... I really do feel like if it's mounted enemies, it's automatically like... an increase in difficulty by like a tier or 2. Oh, that's a lot of lag I was having with my Gambit builders there. Even doing the recovery thing. So the one I did begin with a T. Thank you for letting me know, Chris Sowenson. Alright, so I will let these guys group up. My only hope, I think, is to let them group up, and I might have to go on the war steed. We'll see. I'll try to avoid going on the war steed. I'm also going to try to kill as many enemies just out and about as I can, just to clear things out a little bit. But I will have to use Hampering Javelin to slow them. And I really do want to pull as few extra enemies as possible, so I'm going to clear things out as much as I can. And it looks like they might be heading back now, or they're still just hanging out there. But if they group closely, and I can hit all these ones, they're actually grouped closely now, mainly the back enemies. If I can hit them all, actually only hit one of them, I think. Okay, let me slow that one. He still needs Ranger Sounding Challenge. Use Never Surrender. I really hope to not need it already, but they're doing so much damage. That's another thing, the mounted ones. They do so much damage. Okay, so Never Surrender already popped, but I think I killed the enemies. I might have to go on my war steed here. I will be in the blue. I honestly don't know if I have something to dismount. I really... Target cannot move. Halt the charge. Wow, I need to use that. Oh no, I think I pulled an extra enemy. So I can do this fight. I can just take really long and be mounted, or I can go melee and maybe sometimes switch to mounted if I really need the defensive boost. So I'm actually going to go on foot. I have him on Hampering Javelin, if he's following. There we go, got that off. So Chris, you said thanks for the amount of streams recently. I'm glad you liked them. I know I've been streaming a lot recently. Partially because I'm making so much progress when I continue with that. There we go, that's the dangerous that I need to avoid. Oh, I'm in melee. That's okay, I can go front. Well, he died anyway. Did not need to worry about running up and getting a heal. But yeah, with the streams lately, I think I had so many videos going on in like January and February and so many things that I have had. You know, this guy's going to attack me and I'm in melee, so that means that's gonna do the dot. But I finally had a chance. Kind of finished all my early projects for early in the year, so I've had more of a chance to get back to the more usual streaming that I kind of had with when my Warden Louis did, my other Warden, one of my other Wardens. That was already filtered, but I still had it in my inventory. I might have filtered it and forgot to destroy it or something. What I am looking for is a subscriber town services. There we go. I want to just sell all these things. Ooh, I got this. This is actually relatively not that good. Usually these teal items, I think even at level 100, are usually better. This one overall doesn't look all that good, to be honest. I think the level 95 crafted helmet would be better if you just want good big stats. But because it's a BOE and one of those, I will go ahead and lock it anyway. But yeah, my inventory is actually getting to a point where it's relatively crowded. I can use all these things, but I don't really have much to use it on and just be wasted. Relatively wasted, at least at this point, I feel like. Open these boxes. So one more warband. But anyway, to get back to your message, Chris, you said you recently got back into LOTRO and you've been watching me on a second screen while you play. That is good to know that you do enjoy these streams. I know it's something with my channel. I have to really balance these streams and videos, but Yeah, currently my kind of rough schedule that I try to do is 2 videos a week. And then maybe more or less depending on exactly what is going on. And when I can, when I'm not too busy with like school where I actually have time in the evening to do stuff like this. And again, I'm not working on videos. I do try to stream actually every day or almost every day. And maybe when I have videos, not stream those days or working on videos. But it's something I think I did more so when I came back to YouTube in August, especially maybe September, when I was just getting back to that on Louisden and going through like Minas Morgul's closer to doing daily streams actually back then. Alright, we have to deal. I really might switch to the medium war steed, at least in a place like this if I'm not running on the road or whatever. And actually, it's probably worth staying here. I don't know, I'll follow the road. I don't know if it's actually any help in the zone to follow the road. Oh, so Chris, you are actually leveling a new Warden on Anor. I don't know if you know, but that is where I play. That is where this Warden is. And I'm glad that you've been able to learn a lot. Especially with the Warden, it can, I know, be difficult to get to, especially, I don't know if you played the class before, but if you, one, never did, or just took a long break for it, to get back used to it again. And especially with the Warden, it's changed a lot since many years ago with, I guess, what is strong and what is not, and how things scale, I suppose. All that normal stuff that seems to change. Kind of quiet today with my kin. As much as I play Anor for my kinship being here, usually it does seem to be, I don't know if usually is the best way to put it, but sometimes during peak time in game it does seem to be relatively quiet sometimes. I think in addition to the activity on the server just like slowly dwindling down, unfortunately, the activity in my kin has also been slowly dwindling down. Alright, we will see what I can do. Not that much damage. I know I'm in the blue discipline, which just looking at the numbers, they honestly don't look all too much different than like the red one, but that was hardly any damage I put on that orc, and he almost actually totally knocked me off. So much so that this tiny warg did. I don't know if it's that tiny of a warg. He looks like a tiny warg though. There's a lot of morale as a signature. Okay, so there is the warband that I dealt with earlier. I believe that would be, based on it being an elite master and ally, or elites for the allies, that it was the fellowship one. I think as we covered, Chris actually said the one I did begin with a T. So extra confirmation on that. And then the other one I need is, I think in this grassy area here. Again, I was looking on the LOTRO wiki map and it looked like it was in the very far southeast corner. Yeah, it's at 60.3 south, so a little bit more south than I am, and 11.4 west, so... Okay, actually a little bit more west, so... Maybe not quite in the thick of that, we'll see. Don't know what this one is. The name of the enemy is Finskulk, so I almost feel like it would actually be a Bog Guardian warband. We'll see. So Iru, for you, playing the Warden is a great motivation to keep playing, so whenever you want it to stop, yeah. You don't want to forget the gambits, which might happen if you stop. Okay, I'm at 59.9 south, and I need to go a little bit more south. But otherwise, I'm in the right area, and it's just not popping up. There it is. Okay. I think the spots they have, the locations they have on the LOTRO wiki are just like general. And then hopefully, when you go there, it'll actually finally show up on the map. We get Minas Tirith in the background. This is actually, I think, a neat look at Minas Tirith. There is Finskulk. Finskulk really does sound like a Bog Guardian to me. I'm excited to see if that's what it is, and it does look like that is what it is. Somebody can correct me if there are other Bog Guardian type enemies that are elites or something like this, kind of boss type enemies, but it's really neat just having one to me. I need to pay attention to my morale a little bit. There we go. I wanted the turtle to join in the AoE fun. Okay, I think I pulled another little Bog Guardian thing, but that is okay. I did not mean to use restoration again, but that is no problem. Okay, finished that. So got the Talath Anor warbands done. There are a few more in Old Anorien, but I don't think I want to prioritize trying those now. Mainly just because I was doing Talath Anor, wanted to get that done. I will probably save my exploration deeds, as much as I hate that, because I am making so much progress. Doing the exploration deeds during the Virtue XP weekend would be good. Okay, so Nate Ryan, you're wondering on the normal servers how I quest through Gondor? Because, yeah, there's a lot of content, and doing it without becoming a few levels over the zone. So one thing you can do, there is an efficient leveling path you can do, which starts actually at level 80. So for the most efficient leveling that I recommend, which would actually mean you have to limit the content you do, but again, focusing on efficiency, is start West Rohan as low level as you can. That might be like level 81, 82. It could be a little bit dangerous, a little bit difficult actually, because a lot of things start scaling up and can be more deadly, more dangerous in West Rohan, but getting that started early is good. And then depending how much XP you get from that, you could do a little bit at West Gondor, but do Volume 4, it's good to do that. And then actually skip to Central Gondor. This is where I would do most of the Gondor leveling, is Central Gondor and Old Anorien, also skipping Eastern Gondor. So Central Gondor, you get 4 trait points, that's good for your character, and Old Anorien you can get 2 trait points total doing the quests and deeds of Old Anorien, which is what I am working on right now. And if you can handle it at lower levels, it's good to start that type of content as low level as possible, because then when you do it all, you won't be as over leveled. And I need to actually use my, we're going to run into a little thin fly first, but after, there we go, now I dismount. After 4 seconds it should be, we will go to Minas Tirith. Alright, let's try, I always have to try, let's go to After Battle Minas Tirith, get a preview of the Minas Tirith, less so the actual Minas Tirith than After Battle, but more so the environment, the blue skies. I just need to see blue skies every once in a while, rather than just cloudy, dark skies. Okay, so far I am 1 for 2. Actually, 2 for 3, I should say. So one time I tried to go to After Battle Minas Tirith, and it worked kind of like that. I got ported out very quickly. And another time I tried that, I actually got ported out before the loading screen even finished. But yeah, for me on alts especially, I usually try to do the more efficient leveling path just because I've done the content, and usually when I'm leveling alts it's because I want to level them rather than get a full experience, as at least concerning Gondor. Some areas, some things I actually do want to get like a full playthrough or whatever on alts, but usually that's going to be Eriador type stuff. And at the higher levels, usually for me on alts, it would be like I prioritize efficient routes, as I'd call them. But yeah, I do think it really starts with starting West Rohan as early as possible. And that would actually give you a chance if you do need XP and you want to quest in West Gondor, that would actually give you a chance for that. But thinking for character progression, you really need trait points, virtue XP, and legendary items to get those up. Those are like the 3 big things, and LIs then beat LIs is until level 100, but Volume 4 rather, Book 3, that one gives a Crystal of Remembrance, which is useful. Also, it looks like Ample Starlight Crystal here. That's actually Haradrim and Upper Lebanon. Okay, not Pelennor. I read that as Upper Pelennor at first. And then Volume 4, Book 4 will give a couple of trait points, and Volume 4, Book 2 gives a trait point, but you need to do Volume 4, Book 1 for that. And then again, Old Anorien has 2 trait points associated with the deeds, which requires you to do all the quests, all the exploration, and all the Slayer deeds if you want to get all those trait points. I will say at level 130 right now, there are 97 total possible trait points you can get, but only 95 are usable. So one thing that I might recommend is actually, so skipping the Moria volume I think is okay, because that takes a long time and you'd miss 1 trait point from that. But then you could actually skip the deeds of Old Anorien and maybe just do the quests of Old Anorien if you're looking at getting 95 trait points from that. But for this character, after doing the quests of Old Anorien, I feel like doing the deeds of Old Anorien is actually relatively easy after that. That's just if you want to stay doing the Slayers and Explorers. So what I am doing now is not what I should be doing, which I should be doing something. I'm doing nothing right now. Let's track nearby quests first. And let's untrack this. Untrack these 3, and that should be perfect. So the book quest, I have to talk to a few different people. One is in the second circle, and I have to complete some things for them. Soldiers here. It'll be interesting to see, so I honestly don't know the most efficient way for Mordor and the Black Book of Mordor. I have to look at the trait points list to remember what the rest of Volume 4 has, but for level after you do Old Anorien, I would guess you still have to do some of Volume 4. I think there are still 1 or 2 trait points, maybe more, tied to that. And then maybe start the Black Book of Mordor as early as possible and just go through that as much as you can without running into too difficult content. Also, a tip for people is if you need to fill an XP gap, like for example, if you want to skip actually East Rohan, and you did something before that, you're almost to the level where you can do West Rohan, for example, you could actually start epic battles, and that's something you can do whenever you need XP, because it's good to do those to get 200 promotion points, because that will net you a total of 2 clash trait points. That's also something, if maybe after doing West Rohan you need more XP, you want to get higher level for Central Gondor to be able to do that, it's something you could also do then. It's really unfortunate with the trait points that I have to like come up with all these efficient things for leveling. I know a lot of people in LOTRO, especially for their first characters, don't do that, but after having played through the game, played through this content, that's usually... Let's see, we do have Minas Tirith quests, which is okay. We had a little bit of a break from Minas Tirith, so it's not all bad that I have a Minas Tirith quest right now. Despairing posts were tearing down the withered tree. The withered tree, I believe, are part of the Silent Street instance, if I remember correctly. Okay, so Chris, you are having it where you'll do the Slayer and Exploration when you're max level. I would recommend, if you can time it right, I've mentioned this in a lot of streams, so you might have caught it. On April 22nd to 26th, there's a plus 20% Virtue XP weekend coming up, and that would be a good time to maybe try and do some deeds. That is actually when I plan to go back and do the Old Anorien exploration and Slayer deeds. So I don't actually plan to finish those right now, as much as I would very much so like to, just because I'm making so much progress on this Warden, and getting it all done would be nice. Because of the huge amounts of virtue that I can get for doing these exploration and that type of stuff, I'm going to try to bank up as many deeds as I can that are close to completing, so I can just complete as many as I can during that weekend and get a lot of bonus virtue XP. Well, I have to go through maybe all of Minas Tirith, it looks like, almost looks like all of Minas Tirith at least, for these despairing posters and inspiring these citizens. I feel like I was just over here. I don't know if more of the despairing citizens are just popping up or if I just missed this one earlier. Well, that didn't seem to inspire him too much. He still thinks Minas Tirith will fall. And that is a good strategy, actually, Chris, is completing, when you're going through a zone, completing the quest deed at least is a good thing. Because the quest deed, usually if you go back, at least for me, I would not want to go back and just like do quests. Slayer and exploration deeds are actually fine for me, going back as far as like farming virtue XP. But doing quests, like, just for example, if I randomly had to do Lonelands quests, that is something I probably would not want to do on high level. If I randomly wanted to do Lonelands, that's the exact type of thing I would get like a new character, or just a low level character I have in that range, and just do Loneland on them. So that's something like my characters, other characters would miss out on. So Chris, you are level 30. And I think that is a good, efficient strategy at your level. I'm actually surprised you're that low level because it's such a good strategy, I actually think.
Some men in the garrison.
I do think while leveling again, that at least completing the quest deed is good. Again, and the exploration and Slayer ones, again, I think are relatively easy to go back and do, and I think I have to go into the... Oh no, I have to go to the north end of the second circle. There's a group of unhappy guards that I have to deal with. So usually, I will say for my alts, just because I have gone through this stuff a lot again, I'm not the biggest fan of grinding virtue XP, or grinding deeds I should say, on all my alts and going back and doing them. So usually when I play alts, I'd like to take different alts through different areas. So this is mostly speaking about Eriador, because usually that's where I like to be leveling my alts, and they usually, my playtime on alts usually falls off after that. But I will often actually do complete playthroughs, which means all the deeds, and that includes all the exploration and Slayer deeds and all the quest deeds, but also all the quests in a zone, just because I enjoy that. So it's something that could be considered relatively inefficient as far as time spent for long-term character progression, but I will say at least get a lot of XP for that. So for example, on my Hunter, I actually did not even finish the Trollshaw's Slayer deeds or even exploration deeds. I might have done exploration deeds, I don't remember. I don't think I paid attention enough for that. But in Trollshaw's, on the Anor server, I was getting mostly 105% XP, I think, while I was in there. So 5% extra XP, basically. That is... Oh, Gorthel. I was going to call it Gothmog, but that is Gorthel. What am I doing? Recount some tales? Oh no. Okay, let's see what this is like. That is good. I was worried.
Can it be?
I think. Yeah, so this is ready to turn in. I was worried that was going to be session plays, but that is good. It is not. So with my Hunter and Trollshaws, I started that at level 31. Again, I like starting stuff under level because you get so much XP in this game. Usually you would just get enough to at least catch up, but my Hunter actually over-leveled Trollshaws eventually, doing all the quests and started doing all the deeds there. Unfortunately, I ran out of time before Wildwood released. That's why I was actually doing Trollshaws on my Hunter, was to prepare my Hunter for Wildwood level-wise. But I had a lot of fun in Trollshaws in the meantime. And just with that, doing everything in a zone, you can get a ton of XP. So with you, Chris, you said you were thinking about, okay, going like that strategy, but yeah, I could definitely see that burning you out if you did everything. It's something these Slayer deeds, I think, especially take maybe some extra patience for doing that. I usually enjoy it because that is just like running around killing things, which I can definitely enjoy that gameplay style in LOTRO. at least on level. I will say Slayer Deeds, it's less enjoyable doing them over leveled, even though it goes faster. So that's why I kind of do like to do them on level, even though a good strategy, because they're so fast to do at high level, just go back and get your Virtue XP, you get the LOTRO points as well for doing the deeds when you go back and do them. It is very fast to do it at high level because you can usually just one-shot things, and that is basically that. You one-shot them, then keep on moving on. But because that to me is relatively more boring, less engaging, I guess, is the way to describe that for the gameplay, usually I have to have something on in the background to kind of distract me. Okay, we need to go to the top, which should be Player's Master's tier, I believe. So what time is it? It is 9 o'clock. Well, 9:04. But trying to think what I really want to do. I want to finish this book quest. I don't remember how many quests there are left in the book after this, but I'm thinking how many chapters there are left. I'm actually thinking that 8 and 9 are the 2 epic battles, which, if it works like Pelennor, I will have already completed that. So it's something I won't need to do again. Even though epic battles could technically be useful for this character, but I think at level 105 it won't matter too much, which is coming soon to the server. On the epic battles, for people that don't know, the gear from that, the jewelry, is very powerful at level 100, so that would be a big boost for this character. I'm still using like level 80 epic battle jewelry just because I haven't replaced it as so strong at this level. Not everything, I have replaced some stuff, but a lot of it I think is still epic battle stuff. Looks like 5 out of 8 of my jewelry pieces are epic battle, and some of them again level 80, 85, 90. I am totally lost somehow. I need to go into the building, the Dome of the Sun, which, by the way, if I remember correctly, we will see when we get in here, but I think this is the location of the thumbnail for today's stream. So we have to do a grand reveal. It is Minas Tirith, at least a model of Minas Tirith. It's oddly immersive, this Minas Tirith. It's pretty neat. Anyway, we can get on with the quest. And epic battles, I am not the biggest fan of epic battles. If I do epic battles, they're a lot more fun with at least one other person, so you can do them. There's actually solo, duo, small fellowship, and raid ones. I believe the group size you can do them varies, but I think all of them you can do solo or duo, and then it depends if it's like a 3-man, 6-man, or a 12-man. But I will say, for me, to enjoy them, they are not fun solo at all to me. They feel the opposite of epic solo. They still don't feel too epic to me in a fellowship or even a raid, but they're a lot more fun in a raid. Even if they don't feel epic, they can actually, I almost feel crazy for saying this, but they can actually be a little bit fun. Okay, so we need to go down a circle, I believe. I'll go ahead and do this quest, I suppose. I don't see much reason to do the Mithrandir Gandalf quest. Just war steed scooting. Its skin hasn't even loaded, its armor hasn't loaded, but it's scooting right along there. Right, there should be a stable master person somewhere loading in. There we go. And that is the Sage's tier, maybe? Uh-oh, Long Siege. That is, yeah, Sage's tier. Wait, I don't want to actually detract you from epic battles because I know they're useful, as I mentioned, for if you want to fill in an XP gap, and you can get the promotion points, which would give you 2 class trait points total. Some people enjoy epic battles. I think some people even enjoy them solo, so it's just something that is not quite for me, but potentially you and other people could enjoy them, I think. I need to, I don't know, sometimes I can actually sit, I've noticed in streams, the same position the whole time, but that is not today. Need to adjust again. Okay, need to talk to somebody here. Go to the very back of the upper stores and use the upper stores inventory. Oh, I'm trying to scoop my chair, but it is not working. There we go. Unfortunately, I'm probably sinking way down in the face cam, but this is about the only position I can be comfortable right now for some reason. Okay, I'm in the very back. There should be some sort of inventory I can use. Maybe. I feel like I'm in the very back. I entered right here. As far as I remember, I entered right here. At least maybe I didn't. Maybe this is the very back. A lot of lag, unfortunately, in these buildings inside Minas Tirith. I would guess this is where I need to go, but I don't know. Maybe not. This is the entrance. So that would have been the very back as far as I know. But there was no upper stores inventory for me to use. Targeting things. Oops. No F10. Delete. Oh, so much lag here. Minas Tirith? That's not what I want to target. Maybe I do want to go to Minas Tirith. Maybe I have to go on the outside of this. It says go to the very back of the upper stores. I already did that. There was no upper stores inventory unless I got an item. I don't think I got a quest item for that. Inventory overflow. Yeah, okay, let me get rid of some of these heritages. Oh, so much lag. There we go. Here's the upper inventory. Glad I thought of that before we took all that time to go outside. Oh, this place really is extra laggy. Unfortunately, this is just Minas Tirith. I think if I changed my graphics settings, it would not improve it even if I went on like the lowest settings. At least that used to be the case. It is something I actually tested. So, Chris, for you, Helm's Deep, the movie was awesome. Oh, maybe you'll be able to relive some of that nostalgia. That's why I was actually careful to say, oh, here we finally loaded everything, I guess, or unloaded the rest of Minas Tirith, so now the lag is gone. Anyway, find the entrance to the lower stores, just north of the main gate. Oh, wow. Took all that time to do that. Oh, that's another thing that Andrew points out, is I think this is also important for epic battles. Learning Engineer especially will be helpful, and it's especially doing the Helm's Deep ones. To me, it is not about the class you play, it's about the being an epic battle, whatever those specs are called. But basically, Engineer, I think, is the most useful one. Officer will also be useful. You can actually have two setups. You can go Engineer with one, Officer for the other. With the Officer one, you basically get all the NPCs, friendly NPCs. You set them up in a certain way for whatever epic battle. And then Engineer, you do traps and build siege engines and that type of stuff and use those. It takes a little while to rank up, I will say. And I just got an email notification, so I'm gonna close that out. There we go. Now we are back with this. But yeah, for some people, I think that can actually be enjoyable. I know people in my kinship even that enjoy epic battles and doing all that stuff. It's just, for me, I can typically only enjoy that when I'm actually with a group. We're having so much lag that I am just totally inside the horse, somewhat. But at least we're moving along. As much lag as Minas Tirith and as many weird things as Minas Tirith can produce, we are at least moving through it. Okay, so I need to go to the north. It also, as I mentioned, I think is a little bit slow to get started with epic battles and get ranked up, but once you get ranked up, I think rank 3 is a very important one, especially for Engineer. It will get more fun, or at least you'll get more to do when you get rank 3.
To
so that would be a big help. And also, at low levels, the scaling of characters up to level 100, which all the epic battles scale you to level 100, but scaling up low levels makes them very weak. They don't scale all that well. So it's something... Okay, we're at the very back, except using this has no effect. Oh, that's the upper inventory. Oh no. What the? I'll just waste these heritages again. Okay, so maybe I have to go back to the very back. There we go. Oh, so that's actually interesting that you mentioned that, Chris, because I also enjoy tower defense, or at least can. It's been a while since I've really played one, but I think they can be fun, passive little things. Anyway, I kind of get that idea with epic battles, that they can be a little bit similar to that, but because you're playing an MMORPG and actually playing a character, it's a little bit maybe different. But that is actually a way to look at it, I think, that can maybe help you enjoy it a little bit more, as if it were a tower defense. Alright, we're going to the Dome of the Sun. Oh no, we have to tell them about the rats and food missing? That's not good. I guess they don't want to just like sweep that under the rug or anything. Which probably come wartime with Minas Tirith, that would probably not be a good idea anyway.
Yes.
Waiting for things to load. Maybe at least I can get an interesting screenshot real quick. I still need to take this character to a barber and change that face to a happier one. I need to go to the Master's tier, I believe.
Gondor needs your aid.
Hopefully when I turn in this quest, or at least continue it, that will clean up these 2 inventory slots. I guess I also do have stuff I can sell. Except I am too busy to do that. And all this Minas Tirith quests, I don't know if that's what's actually making me yawn, but that's probably kind of what it seems like. Okay, that did free up a few inventory slots, so the person I need to talk to is a little bit away, so that is worth getting on the War Steed. It's very fun to travel through Minas Tirith on the War Steed. It's something that can actually make Minas Tirith, oddly enough, interesting to go through, is maximizing your speed and doing all the navigation on a War Steed. It adds just something to traveling through the whole area, I think. Okay, Darien and the lower stores. This is going to be ready to turn in when I go down there. I almost feel like that's worth using a Mithril coin. I can't believe it, but it's mainly the loading and the lag that would make it worth it, rather than the actual time to travel. Everything with traveling was smooth, and that loading screen was actually relatively fast there, but with all that stuff, it's not too slow to get there. If the stable masters weren't here, then I also might actually spend the Mithril coin to travel there, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm really stingy with my Mithril coins, and even traveling. I mainly have them for traveling for quests like this, maybe ones that require more traveling than this quest. At least when I don't want to do the traveling and take in the scenery or whatever, which would be the case with pre-battle Gondor, I guess. I'm gonna go to main gate, but I am still very stingy with that. So my legendary items, Ivan, one is level 228, and one is level 262. If that is what you're wondering about them. The actual item of the legendary, the actual level of the legendary items is 100 though. They're the imbued variety. Still need a lot of scrolls of empowerment, and with the Warden, it's honestly, I have very little to actually motivate me to use scrolls of empowerment with certain legacies. The main legacies that I really want to use scrolls of empowerment on are range damage, light damage, and surety of death damage. Mark target, double cast chance as well. And then for the Javelin, I believe Shield Gambit Line Healing, that would be a good one. Defiant Challenge Damage Return, don't really care too much about that at this point. Fist Gambit Skill Damage, and then maybe a little bit Shield Gambit Line Healing. So how to get those so high again? First of all, just leveling them, getting the item XP is how you get that finished. And then you have to use these Scrolls of Empowerment to upgrade the Legacy, the max tiers for those, and also Starlight Crystals to upgrade the DPS. Oh, with Imbuement, if that's what you're talking about, that only works on first stage legendaries, and I actually made a whole Imbuement guide. I think I uploaded it on Monday if I remember correctly. But yeah, that is only with level 100 legendary items, and usually people do that with first stagers. Okay, a long siege. I don't need to do a long siege, but do I want to?
You have my thanks, and that of my family.
That's actually a kind of neat looking cosmetic. Alright. Oh, wait. Oh no. There are two options. Forgive him? Hold up. We have to see what the other option is. Oh, turn him in or forgive him? I want to forgive him. Oh no. That has a 5-minute reset timer. That's not good. I won't turn him in. I don't want him to hate me. Wow. I almost feel like turning him in. He just like gives me so many insults. Maybe it's worth doing that just for him. So to get a first stage item, Ivan, if you do roving threats, that is a good way. Or if you get, I don't know how much gold you would have to buy one, but the first stage symbol, level 100 first stage symbol, and get somebody to craft you one maybe would be an option. I want to see what the quest text actually says for forgive him, to see which option I actually want to do. I didn't realize, I thought these were just two like a long siege quests that you got.
A pox on you. 1,000 poxes.
You still get the same reward. I don't know if it actually matters, but I'm just curious what the other one says. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, I need to do some War of Three Peaks missions, so it is time for the intermission of missions. And we will start with the War of Three Peaks ones. I might do some Wildwood missions today, but at the very least, I want to do 3 War of Three Peaks missions to get that daily done and get started on my new weekly. Yes, roving threats. If you do roving threats, you get the, what is it called? Something currency. The name is escaping me right now. But you get the currency from roving threats. Gift givers brands, that's what they're called. You get that, and 50 of those can get you any of the first stage items. And roving threats are going to be group content. They're open landscape. Basically, there are different roving threats quartermaster type people. There's one at Evendom and Tenuter, there's one at Surrey Kyla, and there's one at North Downs, Estelden, and each of those, Ingmar as well. In Misty Mountains, that's another one, and Forkel, I think I already did that one. They all have quests, roving threats quests for the zones. There's also one in Southern Mirkwood, but that one's actually often bugged. At least the spider there is often bugged. I think it doesn't even show up. And then there are also roving threats of Gondor. So Western Gondor at Dol Amroth, we'll start those for you. And Central Gondor, after you do the quest lines, you will unlock the roving threats quests at each of these camps. I believe there are 3 total. So there's one in Ringleavale, Linhir, and then Pelargir. Maybe has them. Maybe there are only 2. Actually, there's Dor-en Ernil Lebanon. There should be maybe Central Gondor. I don't remember exactly. I thought there were 3 sets, basically. Central Gondor and also Eastern Gondor. There are roving threats as well. Okay, so missions. So we have all the new weeklies. It is that time of week. It is Thursday. It's kind of odd that I have streamed enough that we've actually gotten to that and it's been relevant, the weekly reset of my content. So I will go ahead and accept all the new missions. I don't know if I'll do all the old ones, but I will compare the list, try to do some missions that I have not already done, even though I will hopefully eventually do all these. It looks like that took my entire quest log. I'm at 60 out of 60 quests. Okay, so we have to compare. I have to go. Unfortunately, I really wish I have to mention this every time, but I really wish there was a tab for just missions somewhere. Maybe in instances they could have missions. I don't know, or even in skirmish they could have missions there. But a tab for missions would be very nice. There are a lot of things I actually feel like could be organized better about the deed log, but we'll save that for later. And also, as Andrew says, the blemish symbols actually do drop relatively frequently from Gondor epic battles. So a lot of people run like retaking Pelargir, which can be good for that. But anyway, for missions and ones I have not done, I wonder the Shadows of Valhillir. It's probably more like Valhillir. But anyway, that one does not sound like one I have done. Sons of Kerbrine, a new clutch. We'll go ahead and do that one. I should probably sit up a little bit. I'm actually was leaning back far enough that my legs were going a little bit numb. I don't know why it's been a little bit hard for me to get comfortable today. Okay, this one I need to defeat the 10 Drake eggs. Usually the missions in this area, this particular camp, are usually super quick, but this one, I need to actually take the time to destroy some eggs. Can't believe destroying 10 things actually makes the War of Three Peaks missions, especially one in this particular camp, super slow. And it also takes forever for the enemies to actually pop up, so I just basically run around and pull what I pull. These missions are so easy that I am, depending on the affix, there are a couple of affixes they can get. I think they're called twists is the technical name of the mechanic. But some of them can be a little bit dangerous, and the Sundergrot missions with the goblins with the sappers, those can be a little bit relatively dangerous. Also, you all might notice I'm having a lot of lag, and I usually would not lag this much in a place like this, but after leaving Minas Tirith, it usually takes a while for the lag to like subside. It causes a lot of lag leaving Minas Tirith, and then yeah, it takes a little bit for it to go back to normal. So basically, by the time we get done with the missions, I might actually be normal with the lag. But then we'll be right back at Minas Tirith, we'll all get all laggy again. Okay, a lot of Drake eggs. We killed everything. We cleared it all out. Got a lot of loot, I assume, while doing that. I'm actually, in a way, surprised I have so little loot crafting materials in my inventory. I just feel like I've done so much on this character, but hasn't really added up too much. Like, I only have 211 Anorien hides. I feel like I've killed a lot more beasts that would be dropping a lot more Anorien hides. I know I'm also getting some of the level 90, the Earlinga stuff, just because that stuff is super inconsistent in LOTRO. And sometimes you can loot like low level stuff. Oh, one thing I want to do is actually look at the cosmetics. I think I unlocked the first tier. I think for some of the missions, unintentionally, I actually had a bunch of boosted reputation, so that helped with that. So I actually have the first tier, the first reputation tier finished, and I can barter for some stuff. So before I forget, that is actually high priority right now. We can go and look at that. So the Gobbleaka cosmetics, in general, I am not the biggest fan of them, but I will say, for some reason, I don't know if it's because it's getting springtime or whatever. Oh, don't want the robe, that is ugly. Okay. I wonder if I could do... I would say either the heavy armor or the medium armor. I want to look at the heavy armor because Louis did I do the leggings? There we go. My Warden has the set just from questing from actually running Shakalaka. Mainly the stairs. Oh, I don't like the heavy armor one. I think if I go with one, it would probably be this medium armor one here. And this is what I have on Louis Den. Let me just reset this. I don't want any. Let's here, I'll equip this, reset that, so I don't have to see my helmet. Okay, bracers, that is, then boots, then trousers, shoulder guards, armor, and then maybe medium cloak. But this is what it looks like. And for some reason I feel oddly in the mood for an outfit like that. The only problem is it doesn't dye all that well to me. So it's going to be fairly brown of an outfit, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Yeah, I'm actually not even sure I want that at all for this character. But it's something I thought I would take a look at. The main thing I'd be interested in is whenever I get enough reputation for the weapons there. And we'll see once I finish like the Minas Tirith questing, the books and all that sort of stuff. I am saving a bunch of armor that I'm getting from the quest, so we'll see if any of that could turn into interesting cosmetics as well for this character to get something different than what I've been using. I still really like this outfit, but there are a couple things about it. I wonder if I dyed it actually. Let's see what this looks like dyed. That was a bad color choice. This would look okay dyed, but some of the things about this outfit I don't think can quite be fixed for it being dyed to get me something much different. So I really like this outfit as well, but it's also something that I've just used so much. I'm like, I don't know, I used to not really be this way with armor and cosmetics, but I need some variation. For where we are, I believe this outfit is probably the best. Okay, let's actually go back. Got on a mission weekly. It looks like I only got one maybe this time. That's weird. Guess I need to cancel a quest even though I finished something. On a mission weekly. Oh, never mind. Okay, I already got one. How about Spring Festival? Let's cancel a random one from that. Okay, except there we go. I got both the weeklies now. I thought it was weird because at level 100, at the level cap, I guess you get both weeklies. Or yeah, you get both the low level and level cap version, so you get twice the weeklies at the level cap, which is nice. And at first I thought I only got one for some reason, but just the first one was auto, and the second one, because my quest log was full, I had to clean up a quest for that. But got these. I would like at the very least to do the 15 missions weekly, and I think this week, if I do that, of course, I will finish the 45 missions weekly, so a lot of good stuff for this character coming from all that. But let's see, as far as these missions go. Blockade. I thought I saw this blockade, but probably totally misremembering that. No. Relics of Golden Cleft. I wonder if I've done that one. I have done that one. It's actually right there. Collapsing the Old Paths. Wonder if I've done that one. I really don't know of a good way besides just looking at this the deed log and slowly looking at these quests to see which I have and have not done. But I don't even know if it's worth spending all the time to actually check for missions that I have and have not done, or just jumping into a bunch. Wonder if I've done watchtowers. There are some, I will say there are some missions that are annoying and ones that I actually do want to avoid. Like maybe watchtowers at the Goblin Gate, I think is what that is. Something like that. If I remember correctly, that one is pretty annoying. Which means I basically hope that I have done on this character. Matron and the Hatchery, I believe I've done that one. Aiding the bridge builders. I'm surprised I haven't done that one as well. Looks like a lot of the ones I have available I have maybe already done. Also surprised I haven't done a chill on Gladimir on this character. Alright, let's just do a random. Secrets of the Frost Elf, just a random mission. Oh, it will tell you in the quest window if you have done it already. That is a good point, actually. I think there's a way to see that. I think I know what you mean, Andrew. So it says it's like a repeatable quest that you have completed before or have not completed before, but thank you for reminding me of that. Let's actually try to find one of those. Mission War of Three Peaks, there we go. So like this one, it says this is a completable quest that you have previously completed. This is one I have never completed. And that is very helpful. Thank you for that reminder. I knew that was a feature. I just totally forgot that that's something I could have looked at compared to the deed log. That is so much faster. I wonder if this one, I don't remember this one, the brief look I did. I was just looking at that wonderful feature. I know I have done this mission. This one's very fun because you just kill everything and then you can mine the 12 things, as far as I remember. Decaying Pulpling. Wonder what these debuffs are. Minus 2,526 armor value. I think that's pretty insignificant even in a bunch of those. But yeah, kill all that, then you just mine a bunch of ore. I guess this is the less fun part, where you are just mining the bunches of ore. It says rich ore in the name, but then in the description it's a potentially rich ore, rich vein of ore. The potentially makes sense. I just find it kind of funny that it says rich ore. And I'm guessing the blue shards are like the ore that's you're supposed to be getting. I don't really know that that's the case, but I feel like that'd be the thing that visually tells you it's like a rich ore vein. Hey Wizco, he said he got out of school at 3:30 today, and it's now officially spring break for you. That's exciting. For me, spring break was a couple weeks ago, usually. At least that I remember, it was the first week of April for spring break. And I hope my stream can maybe help you with having the crappy day. Sounds like that's been going on a lot for you, unfortunately, recently. Maybe spring break and maybe the stream as well could help. Okay, there is a moth bog that we need to investigate. The noise from moth bog here. I totally used the boot on accident, but that is okay. Get my mission reward and travel. Yeah, we did a couple of the relatively slower War of Three Peaks missions for the first two. I feel like on average a lot of them are faster than the Wildwood ones, but we have done the relatively slower ones. That was Secret of Frost Elf, I believe. Alright, one more mission today, at the very least, that I want to do. I have previously completed the watchtowers at the Goblin Gate. That is good. Under command of trolls. Let's do that one. That sounds fun anyway. Looks like all is going well with the Stream Elements plugin with OBS. As we saw earlier, for people that weren't here, at the very beginning of the stream it said Stream Elements bot running, and that is a new bot I have for the stream. As far as I know, it does nothing, which it seems to have done nothing so far. So this is just defeat troll crushers. That should be easy, but they're the Sundergrot goblins, and the sappers, they can be annoying, and there's also the stealthed ones, and if I remember correctly, they can be annoying as well. So we will see. I will push this mission as much as I can, and this is one where I actually do risk dying, which is very rare for a mission. Looks like that is the end for this. But maybe not. If I can kill them and just avoid all the AoEs, then we might actually be good on this. Okay, so got those two trolls. I believe I have to go up for the next 3. Yeah, there my morale's ticking down. I have the powder burns, which lasts a long time in addition to actually doing relatively decent damage, I guess. So sentry, I am coated with the oil. So if a sapper hits me, this is where it would get dangerous, basically. But as a yellow line warden, or even a warden in general, I just feel like I cannot stop moving. Okay, I'm actually, and the sappers, they're just way more dangerous than even the trolls. That was actually a good morale tap, oddly enough, where everybody was grouped tightly, so even if it didn't actually trigger the barbed javelins bleed, wow, that lag totally messed that up, but I think it's okay. But yeah, with that cluster, with the exaltation of battle, let's just leave. Hopefully I can leave. I'm in combat with something, but if I can leave, that would be good to get out of there. That mission isn't too bad, actually. I think Never Surrender did trigger, but at least I didn't die and I was able to just run through. Okay, so just so I keep making good progress on the old Anorien Minas Tirith book quest, that type of stuff, I'm going to go ahead and go back to Minas Tirith. Hello, Grand Marshal Ray Ninja. He said this is nonsense and stop running around, seriously? That is the opposite of my Warden strategy, unfortunately. My strategy with my Warden, even in relatively dangerous missions like that with the sappers and the oil, my strategy is to run around constantly. I think the lag did actually clear out from Minas Tirith, from leaving Minas Tirith, but now we are back. And we can let the lag begin again. Okay, let's track nearby quests and then untrack the ones that I don't want tracked, and that is a quick way to get the one quest I actually do want tracked up there. Okay, I think oh yeah, we have to talk to that one person again. I knew there was a reason I wanted to go north and not straight up to the last circle. Right, we need to, with this guy, read the quest text for his other option once they load in. So turn him in. He got really mad at me if I was going to turn him in. And I think this is a better option. We will forgive him. I need to talk to somebody. I don't even know where, but I need to talk to somebody for that quest. I do not know where he is. It says, okay, in the Dome of the Sun. I know where the Dome of the Sun is, but that's actually not tracked on the map. The Dome of the Sun, if I remember correctly, is right there, I believe. Could be right there, but I'm thinking it's actually on the Sage tier, maybe? But we'll go to the Sage tier and see. I think that'll be, since it's right next to that Stable Master. So the X-Man for you, the Master X-Man, rather. Sage's tier. For you, you said the favorite and worst epic storyline, volume-wise, is 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Black Book. Wait. Volume-wise, so you have volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Black Book as favorite and worst? I'm kind of confused by that. Or are you asking me maybe my favorite and least favorite of those? I will say my favorite storyline, as far as like epic book quest style goes, is actually the Legacy of Durn and the Trials of the Dwarves, which is not listed in your list there. And from my experience, my least favorite, I think Volume 3 goes through West Rohan. Anything that is somewhat related to West Rohan is like automatically my least favorite. Even if the quests there actually aren't that bad, the book quests specifically, I should say, even if they aren't that bad there, I honestly don't remember just because of how annoying that place is and how much I dislike it. Okay, we're going to the Dome of the Sun, which this is not what I was thinking that was, so maybe it is the 6th circle, which could also make sense with what's going on there, so we'll do that. This was a quick check, that's why I decided to go to Sage's tier first. I'll be interested, actually, since you bring up the Black Book of Mordor, I will be interested in doing that again. I think I only did a little bit of that. I know on some of my other characters, I didn't like Mordor enough that I just like skipped a lot of it, so I don't remember how much of the Black Book of Mordor I actually did. I know I did pick it back up in the Vales of Anduin with the interlude and doing Minas Morgul and all that stuff, and it wasn't bad there. But just because the general experience with Mordor was not all too great overall at the start with me.
I see. Very good.
Oh no, now we have to go back down. Maybe this'll, yeah, it's actually ready for turn in now. I'm actually curious, that got me interested enough. There being 2 options, that was something that interested me enough to. We'll get out of here and start traveling before I read that, but that is what it interested me to do. So this is, I wonder if this counts actually as a book quest. It does. Long Siege, Forgive Him. It is, Darien is outside, and it just said Darien had a minute, and alright. Okay, it just says Marudal. Asked me to thank Darien for his duty. Okay then. So what would I rank each epic storyline, and what would I want to see next in the LOTRO? Okay, adapt story-wise. I think I'm going way too far for the Stable Master because it didn't load in, so I guess I didn't see it or something. But anyway, it would be hard for me to rank each epic storyline because it's been a long time since I've done some of the early ones. I will say Moria would probably be relatively low, even if some of the story there is interesting. And the same with Mirkwood, because Mazog is annoying. So as far as my experience, not really commenting too much on the actual story quality going on there within the game, my experience questing through it, those 2 would be near the bottom, but they would be above West Rohan. Any part of, I think it's Volume 3 that goes through West Rohan. I don't remember, Volume 3 might start in like East Rohan, or might even start in Rise of Isengard, and I actually don't mind the Rise of Isengard part of it, so it'd be hard to say the whole thing is all that like bad to me. But because of the West Rohan part, and West Rohan in general, even unrelated to the epic storyline, I have to rate it low. Where am I going? I'm going to the main gate, and then we can go back up here one more time and then go to Gandalf, the non-floating, grounded Gandalf. And then Volume 1 I don't think is bad, but it has been a long while since I've done all of it, so I'd have to replay that. But with my current opinion on them, which is somewhat partial for some of the things, I would have to say from least favorite to maybe favorite, 3 for least, and then 2 maybe for next least. And then from there it's a little bit iffy for Volume 4 or 1. I would say from my previous experiences I would have to do Volume 1 higher, so it'd be 3, 2, 4, 1. In Black Book of Mordor, I don't know where to fit it in with that. But again, Legacy of the Durin and the Trials of the Dwarves would be above all those. And then after the Legacy of Durin, what we have of it so far, and finishing that, I don't know what I will think of that when it actually finishes. I just know that's been some of my favorites so far. And Volume 5 was, partially maybe because it was super short, we don't have all too much in that. That's also been pretty fun. I would rate that my experience in Volume 5, even with the whole wedding taking forever. That's just something you can AFK during if you're really just wanting to get it done. We want Jacket of Anorien Mercy. Okay, now I can go back. Mainly did that for the potential cosmetics. I'll have to see if I can get an outfit out of that. It really looks like a Beorning outfit, which is a little bit odd. I'll have to see. I really hope it dyes well. Let's try and pick a color that will actually show. There it goes. It just took a minute. Okay, for the dye to actually load. That looks like it could dye pretty neatly. I haven't used some red cosmetic in a while. I feel like that's kind of what I want. It's been a while since I've done a red cosmetic, so maybe that's what I do. Even though this one has a little bit of red, it's primarily Evendim blue, I believe. But after that, there are a lot of possibilities. I've talked about it pretty thoroughly once, I think in a stream randomly. Of course, I don't expect anybody like watching this stream to have happened to caught whatever small portion of a stream where I talked about that, but basically, some areas I would be interested in exploring is the 4 big areas are Harad, Khand, Rhûn, and Forodwaith. I feel like all those would be interesting, but to me, actually, the most interesting would be Forodwaith, but from the little I heard about it being mostly desolate and just not too much going on there, I could see that being like a little small mini storyline, basically, that they might do for a few updates, a couple updates even. I think it could be interesting with that. Maybe an expansion randomly in Forodwaith. I know that'd be right next to Gundabad, relatively right next to Gundabad. Thinking Forodwaith more so, north of Angmar, maybe even connecting Forakel, Angmar, and then Angmar and Gundabad, and having like a new Forodwaith type zone. I would be really interested in that just because I like the snowy places in LOTRO and getting anything potentially connected. Also, Misty Mountains could be connected to all that stuff if they did that. So that would be exciting to me, but I think of all the places, based on what we can see from this map, which a lot of this is like just not charted at all, Rhûn looks like it could be potentially interesting. I just don't know lore-wise what all is going on with them. Even the Corsairs, the pirate theme that you could get maybe in Harondor and Harad, would be interesting, and I believe Harad is desert-like, I have heard, which would be interesting if it's like sand dune type desert. Interesting seeing that in LOTRO. There's no real desert. There's savannas with the Lonelands, I'm mainly thinking. But as far as I remember, there aren't any like true deserts, what you would think of like with regular deserts, at least in LOTRO. Like warm weather deserts, basically. Trying to think, Angmar, I really don't know if that would be able to technically count as a desert, but it might, but not really a place like that, I'm thinking. Again, the sand dune, full of sand type desert. Yeah, a lot of people actually, that's a good point, the Master X-Man, a lot of people, let me actually go somewhere while I do this, but I think a lot of people have talked about the scouring of the Shire, I think is what they call it, the destruction of the Shire, as you call it. I think a lot of people have been hoping to see that, and it's something I guess they could potentially do as well. We'll have to see. The possibilities are so endless. There are so many exciting things. I feel like they could even just fill in some areas around Eriador as well, and that would, I think a lot of people would want to see places like even Amphilis. They could go back there randomly and finish out Eriador, what is west of Rohan, west of what we have in Gondor, and do all that part of Eriador. And Master X-Man, I don't know if hobbits are pure evil. I don't really like hobbits, but there are a lot of ideas and lifestyle habits of hobbits that I actually like. I'm just not a big fan of the hobbits themselves, especially playing a hobbit. I will say I like LOTRO hobbits, Lord of the Rings hobbits, more than WoW gnomes at least. Even if I play Alliance and WoW, I could agree that gnomes are pure evil in that. I still actually would take that back a little bit just because pure evil. That doesn't quite seem like the right word, for me at least, to describe them.
Let us go to the old archives and speak on the way. Your encounter with Gothmog fills me with a dread I cannot explain. I hope to learn why here in the old archives.
Apparently, I met a commander in Osgiliath. Gothmog, the Dread Terror. There's the Throne of the Dread Terror. That is coming up. I wonder if there was a previous part. So I have not done book 3 actually for volume 4 yet on this character, and I forget if there was a previous part. I'm not sure if I ever did book 3 on any of my other characters, to be honest, so I wonder if actually Gothmog came up in that. I know he's back in, this is maybe minor spoilers. I don't really know if you can really spoil a game like this too much, but in Minas Morgul, Gothmog comes back in that. Okay, here we are having a bunch of lag, but I will just search. I wonder if this is one of these things where you just have to do so many things, or you just happen to have to select the right one, and then I'll progress whatever you need. But I will just click a bunch of things and hope one of the things I click just happens to be needed for the quest. There's a barking dog. I actually only have 2 things left for potential, it looks like. If the other rooms don't have anything, if the other halls. This is when we go into the building. Got that one. When we go into a building in Minas Tirith that is so laggy. My FPS is like 5, 7, 6, 4, 12, 13. Wow. Oh, went down to 3. But yeah, that's just the unfortunate part. Again, I think even changing my graphics settings, lowering my graphics settings, actually looking at the floor, if that seems to be decent. Although the whole thing seems to be decent. I'll actually try that strategy, maybe looking at the floor. I think when we've tried this previously, though, looking at the floor did not work. But it's just something that takes a minute going to these buildings. We'll see. I still wouldn't mind getting all the book quests done. Oh, the Shire. So for you, the Master X-Man, the Shire is like the Pies Mail. Yeah, that is... So the Shire is something I used to not like, but I think it is something I can do once every few years and enjoy the questing there. It was a fun experience on my Guardian when I did that. A lot of it was actually for the first time. Usually these type of book quests, I know they build the story, but they're actually usually the ones I don't like quite as much. So if a volume or book quest series, epic quest series, has a lot of stuff like this, where I'm just like basically sitting in the story instance, then usually they're the ones I don't like quite as much. It can be interesting, especially seeing it the first time and paying attention to what's going on, but going through this type of stuff on alts is usually what I really don't like. And when it's like a semi-soft force type thing that you have to do to get trait points like you have to do right now, that is when I extra dislike it. So that's kind of how I feel with Westerohan. I'm not a big fan of the questing. Actually, I'm not even close to a fan of it at all. But then on top of needing it, on top of that, you need to do it for the trait points. So it's like an extra layer of me disliking Westerohan because of that. But this, so far with Gondor, there aren't too many instances like this where you're just sitting in the story. And this one was, I will say, relatively short. At least we got to hear about not wanting Yrnir, whoever, to come back as a king or something. Okay, once again, falling in my chair. I keep repeating it, but I just can't get all that comfortable today in the chair. Oh no, the Master X-Man, you are doing Westerohan right now. Well, I hope maybe my stream can help keep you entertained during that. I don't know if you dislike it as much as me, but it is by far my least favorite area in LOTRO. Okay, first circle of Minas Tirith, so all the way back down.
I feared it might be so.
Okay, I'm going to get on my war steed. So hard to not use my war steed. Again, that makes Minas Tirith more fun, navigating it on a war steed. Especially once you get up to the 16 meters per second. Which I still find very weird that they actually call it MPS in LOTRO. I also have heard, actually a lot of people, it sounds like they like Westerohan.
Gondor needs your aid.
But that is the opposite of the questing style. Like, so for anybody randomly, because I bash on Westerohan so much maybe, that thinks it might be like totally bad for everybody, that's not the case. It's just something I don't like the questing there, but I do hear a lot of people enjoy that. And when I went through Westerohan again on my Runekeeper, or tried to go through Westerohan again on my Runekeeper, that did not end up going so well. It went super slow because I wasn't enjoying it too much, but it's also just a super slow region in general. And I think some people, like I hear people in my kinship even, they enjoy it going through it at first time, but again, it's the going through it on the alts and having to do it basically for the trait points. Okay, back to the top of Minas Tirith. This is a lot of back and forth in Minas Tirith, which I could speed up with mithril coins, but I really don't. I'm just too stingy with my mithril coins. But yeah, some people I think can definitely enjoy Westerohan, so I hope for people that haven't been there, don't take my criticism of Westerohan and just assume it'll be like super bad all around for them. I can say one positive thing is it can be a little bit, some of the stories can be a little bit interesting, and there are a couple quest sets throughout the entire region, a super long region, that can be fun. It's just all the good parts of it to me are soured by knowing all the bad parts of it and just wanting to get out of there as fast as possible, basically. Okay, so Scratchy Scroll 7. You're wondering what level armor becomes looking good? Well, this is one of the earlier armor sets that I think could be described as maybe looking cool. I don't know if this one looks cool to you. I'm not even in my Gondor outfit. But this one is from Fortkel, which you could get in the mid-40s, I believe. You have to craft it. You have to craft it and get a bunch of lost off the Fortkel rep to be able to get the recipes to craft it, but that's where this one is from, and it's that level. But a lot of crafted armor, actually above level 50, can look pretty decent, I think. And then there's also, at the skirmish camp, a lot of stuff that you can barter for that could look pretty neat. So you want to specifically maybe dress up as a Dunedain Ranger. I believe going through the Rise of Isengard epic book quest, you should be able to get like the... I don't know if that would be quite Dunedain Ranger. I'm kind of not really remembering that right, but... So we need to do what the stewards saw. I still have quite a few chapters left. For some reason I was thinking I was closer to the epic quest. Oh, so if you opened one of the loot box and got that bow, I actually think the same thing, Ivan, that loot box bow. I hate to say it actually does look pretty neat to me, if it's the same one that like my hunter uses for cosmetic. The loot boxes, the good thing is, at least for me, I get 4 bound steel keys, so I don't buy loot boxes. Not a big fan of even supporting that with the keys. Don't buy the keys, I mean. Okay, going through another repositioning. Yeah, scoot my chair back. Okay, it's 67 degrees in there. That explains a little bit why it's warm, I guess. Okay, Denethor in the Tower Hall. This is the Tower of Ecthelion? They must have turned the lights off. So the Rise of Isengard book quest, it was the Grey Company is the specific outfit. That is actually, I have that on my Runekeeper on Arkenstone and sometimes use it on my Warden and Captain there. I dyed it Evandin Blue though, so it's a little bit less Ranger looking. And yeah, Ivan, if you have the keys in your bag, that is definitely, that's why I always mention, like, with loot boxes, I just feel like there's a big, that I always have to actually say that I don't really support that, but when I talk about me like opening loot boxes and knowing what's in there, that's because I get 4 of the keys. So I feel like those 2 parts are, I guess, a little bit important. This is actually a neat little bit of a scenic view. Oh, I might have barely gotten a screenshot of it before we load it out. Almost looks like we're going to Talath Anor. Wonder where we are going.
The forces of Mordor fill Osgiliath and spill into the plain.
I feel like the sharpness is increased. Maybe a couple other things. This is almost what LOTRO, a lot of people use this thing called sweet effects. I don't even know if that's what it's called anymore. That's what it used to be called. And to me, it often actually makes the game, it can make it look better in screenshots, I think, but I actually think it can make the game, for me, maybe even look a little bit worse. It's something people use to kind of improve the graphics, change the contrast, sharpness, that type of stuff. And it can look better, but whenever I see random screenshots of that, it actually looks overdone to me usually. But that's just I guess personal preference as far as like that type of stuff to modify the look of the game. But it's not something that actually changes the graphics, but it can make it look a little bit like this. Again, the sharpness, contrast, that type of stuff. The hazy images become more distinct. Okay then. I wonder if it's like getting slowly more clear then? Maybe. This is very weird. So Scratchy Scroller, you picked Weaponsmith. Well, you can craft yourself weapons, that can be useful. But if you're looking for cosmetic stuff, crafting cosmetic stuff, I think Tailor and Armorsmith can be good for those. You can also always have somebody actually craft that for you. We're in Minas Tirith Besieged, which I believe is... I wonder how I would get back here. I'm actually really curious. I don't know. If I like randomly left and went to regular Minas Tirith, I really wonder how I'd get back here. Maybe there is a way that I just don't really remember or off the top of my head.
Minas Tirith is surrounded.
The Withered Tree, Mad with Terror. Wow, this is a lot of quests again. And there are no stable masters here, it looks like. That is not good. This might be a lot of traveling. We'll see. I really don't remember this, actually. I know Minas Tirith Besieged is an epic battle, if I remember correctly, though. If I open up the right thing for that. There's Defense of Minas Tirith. Okay, that might be during, like, Minas Tirith Besieged, when the epic battle takes place, but... yeah, I really do honestly have no idea how I'd get back here, or maybe because I'm on this book quest, whenever I try to travel to regular Minas Tirith, maybe it would just like take me here to this version. I don't know. There's still the captain trainer and the NPCs, I guess. Okay, I think I actually need to go to the next circle. It does look like that is up on the next circle. But I really do want to make sure, just in case. So I don't have to come back down here. And yep, that is on the next circle. So we will go to the next one. I really hope these quests here don't have too much traveling like the previous ones, especially with the lack of stable masters. That could be a time to actually use my mytho coins and not feel quite as much like I'm wasting the mytho coins. It's getting kind of late and I'm getting kind of tired, but I really would like to get up. I think chapter 10, I have to get through that and then it'll be the 2 epic battles, and I don't remember what's after the 2 epic battles though. But that's, if I remember correctly, 11 and 12 maybe are the ones with the epic battles, and that'll get me 2 trait points, and then one of the ones after those will get me the gold cloak, which I have the gold Naruhel cloak, but I believe the gold cloak I could get from the book quest, I think, will be better than that.
An icy chill grips my heart.
Okay, this should be easy because I'm just picking up 12 abandoned things right here. Can always use more shields and weapons. I don't know how I'm going to ever have a different cosmetic pet than this Ill Omen town. It's basically become my pet. If you could have multiple pets out on LOTRO, that would be very nice. I almost feel like that's something they could sell for LOTRO points. It'd be a cosmetic thing, and I think some people would. Like if I was at Standing Stone Games and wanted to think of a way to monetize the game to make more money, I would sell, like, assuming it's possible within the game that they'd have like the technology to do it, like for 10,000 LOTRO points, something really expensive like that, you could have 2 cosmetic pets out at once. I would rather that than have like grindy systems that can be very much so pay to skip. Like if there is an alternative, I think having cosmetics monetize, maybe not something like ridiculous like that, but just to show something that could be monetized rather than say stat tomes. I know stat tomes at level 130, they don't give too much of a boost, but it is a very much so pay to win like thing, because they're very inconsistent to actually get in the game. While you technically can, it's super inconsistent and they're very low drop rate from stuff. And Chris Owenson is 4 a.m. for you. That is the new time for people to watch my stream. It used to be 3 a.m., but now it's all 4 a.m. But time for bed for you. That is, well, distracted. Thank you for joining the stream. That is what I'm supposed to say. Thank you for joining the stream, and even at that late, I hope you have a good night. So the Master X-Men, you said we don't need more microtransactions. I can agree with that, but I think cosmetics, if they replace some things like, say if they lessen the virtue grind, if all deeds gave maybe double virtue XP or something. I wonder, do I have to do like a different one? What is going on with this? There we go. Also, quest packs, that type of stuff, that's what I was more so meaning to get to. If they did more cosmetic microtransactions, that type of stuff, and monetize cosmetics like that more, I feel like they could, for free-to-play players, maybe open up as an alternative, like source of revenue, instead of having quest packs as monetized as they are. They could open some more of that type of stuff and instead offer cosmetics more so in the LOTRO store. So like I was talking about, having more cosmetic pets out for like 10,000 LOTRO points, I don't know if that would actually bring them in enough revenue, but to lighten up the more actual content and even pay to win type stuff, but setting that aside, to open up more content, that would be a type of thing I would prefer, basically. If like that would somehow give them enough revenue that they can make all of Eriador free quest pack wise. So like a free-to-play player could do all of Eriador and not need the quest packs, but then have some more cosmetic stuff monetized. That is something I would be a fan of. Is more so what I meant, actually thinking about the content and having to unlock that. Of course, as a VIP, that would mean you get slightly less benefit out of your VIP for quest packs, more quest packs being free. Oh, I didn't mean to open that, but it doesn't matter. I want to open all three of those anyway. It really is unfortunate. The main stat essences are just so bad at this level. I even think at level 130, if I remember correctly, they're just not good compared to... So getting agility, say I used one agility essence compared to one physical mastery. I don't think I have a physical mastery one, but it gives a lot less physical mastery. I know agility gives like a little bit of critical rating, but say doing 2 agility essences would give a lot less physical mastery than one physical mastery essence and one critical rating essence, which also give a lot less crit than that. They just aren't that good. I have a lot of vitality essences. I just don't really have all that much essence armor, and I don't want to replace my good old statted armor, which is now very strong for this level. Okay, we're making it up. I have to actually run up all the Minas Tirith circles. I thought I was done with this, but we are Minas Tirith besieged. I prefer, as far as besieged zones, Mordor besieged was a lot more fun than Minas Tirith besieged is so far. Actually, I think Mordor besieged was a very fun zone. A lot better than regular Mordor. Okay, let's see what quest. Hopefully his quest is relatively easy and nearby as well, which was what the other one was like. Fires in the city. Extinguish the burning storage stone in a 6 circles. So that is to the southwest. Fortunately, I am a warden, so I have forced march, so I am carrying this bucket relatively quickly. Yes, here is a fire, and I can see why they want me to extinguish it. I wonder why they don't want me to extinguish, say, the tree. Why the stone instead of the tree? It seems like the tree would be something that the fire could spread through, whereas a rock, I don't think is really all that flammable. And I'm guessing I will need to Oh, the burning stone in the 5th circle. Oh no, this is not good. Hopefully this is all we go. Hopefully we don't have to go down to the 4th circle. We'll see. So just so y'all know, this is the type of content that I think can be enjoyable once. All the stuff I'm doing on this character in Minas Tirith, Old Anorien, it's something that can be enjoyable once to me. But it really is replaying it on alts, leveling new characters through this region. It is something that unfortunately is not all that appealing to me. Why are we doing these stones? I could see these stones being the source of the fire, if like that's what's going through the catapults or whatever. And that is what is being thrown here. So it's like, that is the source of the fire maybe? Oh, here's a water bucket. Oh no, I think we're going to the 4th circle. But this is also, yeah, the type of questing that I don't think has that much replayability. So while it's enjoyable to do once, maybe every 10 or 20 years or something, which I know that may sound extreme, but that is really what I think. Basically, once, and then maybe many years later, it could be enjoyable again, but this is the exact type of stuff. And I think one of the reasons that I'd like rate Gondor poorly because it is a one-time thing, and I am very much so a player who likes to play alts. I know I haven't been doing that all too much lately. I've done like, what, 6, 7 of these Warden's Gondor parts in a row, as far as the streaming mini-series goes. I almost feel like it's a full series if it's up to like 10 parts, rather than a mini-series of streams. But anyway, what was I going on about? There's another bucket of water. I think we're going to be going all the way down to the main gate and doing this. It's, yeah, one of the reasons I think with Gondor, it's just the type of questing that isn't all that exciting and not something that has a lot of replayability to me, since you're just following like a single path, which I guess you're doing with the book quests all the time, and that's why I usually enjoy these zone quests more. But it's just like you're going through this pre-carved path and following through the game. In the order they set for you, rather than going through it more so how you want, I guess. I hope that makes sense. I almost feel like that doesn't make sense. But again, just to summarize a little bit maybe. Oh, might actually be done with this. Let's see. Oh no, pick up a water bucket. We're not done. There is a water bucket. It looks like, yeah, the steps here. Alright. I'll pick up that water bucket. We'll risk it. But again, I do want to end that whole thought on that I still think the quests I'm doing now are enjoyable. It's just something that is enjoyable once. Like, it's interesting going through it, even taking the water bucket. We get to explore a little bit of Minas Tirith Besieged, I guess, looking at the detail, not speeding through it on a war steed. Alright, I'm going to actually get on my war steed. We will speed through it on a war steed and go to the next ramp and bottom there and keep going through this and keep extinguishing. We keep seeing rocks just like totally thrown into the city though, and they're just wanting me to put out the fire on the rocks. I know the rocks are flaming, but not sure. I'm just not really sure the mechanics of them being a flame spreader rather than the, on like the 6th circle or whatever the first one was, the rocks, these stones being the flame spreader rather than like, especially when the trees were on fire, all that. So Master X-Man, thoughts on the brawler? I actually should make a video on that. There are some skills that have been leaked from it's actual game data. I believe it was probably from Bull Roar. I don't think it ever made it live. It could have. But I should actually make a video talking about my thoughts on the brawler. Maybe I actually want to do a video tomorrow. It's just I have done nothing to make progress on a video tomorrow, so it'd be tough to do. It's something I'd have to basically do in the morning, and maybe doing the brawler and just looking at that would be good. Somebody sent me, I don't know the source of it, but somebody put like an organized list together of the brawler skills that were found. I don't know, data mined or leaked. Probably leaked would be the way to call that. But basically in a plugin that reads game data, and you can see all the stuff in the game with it. Again, I don't know if this was beta or live. With the game, a lot of brawler skills were leaked, basically. They are obviously not done. It's like I have no idea if the brawler is actually an alpha. I would hope at this point it's an alpha, but that's all locked down with DNTs and all that sort of stuff. Do not disclose. What are those called? I don't know if DNT is what the, oh my. So DNT, a lot of things in betas and LOTRO and a lot of league type things will have DNT, and I think that stands for do not touch. Non-disclosure, NDAs, that's what it is. People, I think Palantir requires NDAs. I don't even know if you're allowed to know who plays on Palantir, which is the alpha server for people that don't know. If you play alpha and LOTRO alpha test, you have NDAs and all that sort of stuff and can't share anything. Although I feel like maybe the game is too small for this, but I feel like with alpha stuff they could do maybe a little bit more to share that, and it could build excitement and general interest in the game maybe a little bit more if they did that. But that aside, that is something I've been meaning to do and actually forgot about. So yes, the Master X-Man, that is a free video idea. Okay, so Ivan, you said you're the only one that finds Evendom to be pretty. I find it pretty, and it's fun to travel through. Actually agree with both of those. I also hardly ever go there unless I'm leveling a character. I will say there's a lot of travel in the zone, so it's a good thing it's pretty to travel through. With the questing, there's relatively decent amount of traveling, I feel like, especially for a low-level area like that. But yeah, I would have to agree with those. Pretty and fun to travel through. I really like, also, it's been a while since I've actually done all of the Numenos quests. Those are pretty fun as well. If I were actually in the mood to play a burglar, if I ever get in the mood to play a burglar, I might do a Numenos playthrough. That is almost one problem with all my alts, is the fun classes. My favorite classes are all high level, and I want to play through actually all of these Eriador zones again. So it's like a little bit tough. So Ivan, you said you were trying to find the roving threats in Evendom and you're struggling to find them. There is on the LOTRO wiki, I think the only real source for finding those is actually looking at the LOTRO wiki map for the roving threats. So for Evendom, they like have a map for the roving threat locations, and just scouting those locations, because they will not all be at each of the locations. They have however many roving threats there are in Evendom, there's a chance for them to spawn, if that makes sense, at each of those. So you'll have to scout them all, and eventually you might come across them. So Master X-Men, you love burglar? Yeah, it's a class I like and I can enjoy. It's just I have not been in the mood for it in a while, unfortunately. While there's some fun content that my burglar is a good level for, he just not in the mood to play one. Which hopefully, again, will change. And then, Wizco, you said you heard I was popular in Grab-On? I honestly have no idea what Grab-On is. I assume you're talking to me, Wizco, not somebody else in chat, maybe. Oh. Wizco had a April Fool's joke. I actually forget it's April 1st. It's 10:30 my time, almost April 2nd. Need to reforge my allies, but now that I have my relics, I really don't care about my allies too much. Main thing I want to just level them up and deconstruct them for. I actually almost want to spend shards doing that. It's really not worth it with shards. It's also not really worth it with money. But I can still, I really don't know. I can get shards basically and very slowly get scrolls of empowerment. Probably not worth all the gold spent to do that. Okay, Lamlore. Where is Lamlore? He is on the circle below me. I did not even need to go to the top there. Yeah, the Master X-Man, I could have done an April Fool's joke video. It's just I didn't really have time to think about it. Well, actually, I thought about the idea of it. That's as far as I got. And there was basically nothing I could really come up with, unfortunately. Well, actually, the one topic I could have come up with was me quitting LOTRO. Maybe I'll do that next year if I still play LOTRO. I'll make a I'm quitting LOTRO video. Upload it on April 1st. Which I guess I probably shouldn't have told all of you that. But I really, oh no, even the model for Minas Tirith was totally smashed. Probably because a lot of people, I think every time I see people here, they're just jumping around it like this. That's probably how it got smashed. I think it's kind of funny that they made it get smashed though. Anyway, talk to Hurin in the Dome of the Sun. Oh, may I talk to somebody here? In the Dome of the Sun, here he is. He's hiding behind Minas Tirith. Okay. Oh no, deliver Gate of Stones, Gate of Stars, Gate of the Citadel. Oh no. I really don't mean to sound that unexcited about the quest here, but that's the way it is right now with Minas Tirith and just running around it. Okay, this might be actually relatively decent. I believe that is a circle above me for whatever that one is. Really, I'm delivering new passwords. I honestly cannot think of a more useless thing to do right now. I believe Minas Tirith is under besiege, and they have a Warden, which can kill a lot of things, out here doing very useless things, delivering passwords. They actually have password hyphenated. I wonder if that's actually a thing, like in the older English or whatever Tolkien language, or oh yeah, actually the Master X-Man I have, you give me an idea, won't be Hobbit, but I might actually have to write this down for the next year. This one I won't be so kind to share. I don't even know if that's what, so you said roll a Hobbit if I were bored. I don't know if I could ever play a Hobbit. Well, I'm somehow not falling through. So that's the thing with these Minas Tirith quests as well. And what I am doing with Book 4 Chapter 9 is I really do feel like I'm doing... like I said, I don't know if I could be doing more useless things. Because once again, as a Warden, I have been known to be able to kill like Mumakil on my own. And take on a whole bunch of orcs at once and things like that. But they have me up here running around delivering passwords and putting out fires with a whole bunch of fire boulders are running into Minas Tirith. They have me do it at like each circle and spend all that time, while Minas Tirith again is just getting assaulted with more and more fiery boulders. They have me do all that running around to put out these fires. And then, what was the other one that I had to do? Oh yeah, to clean up some like weapons and shields that were just on the ground. So they had me do that when I probably could have dealt with a lot of the issues. I know the enemies are supposed to seem more powerful and all that, but when you just run around killing a whole bunch of orcs and things like that in LOTRO, it really does seem like it would be... It seems like you could be more utilized and more useful on the battlefield. Scratchy Scroll 7, you're wondering how people are level 20 and riding a war steed? They must be exploiting something, because you should not be able to be level 20 and riding a war steed. They might be riding a regular mount, would be my guess with that.
Already a new password.
Alright, investigate the 4th circle now. After all that, I should have done the 4th circle as the last one, I guess. Oh well. So Forlong is the king of fetch-it quests. Fetch-it quests aren't always bad, it's just these quests that I'm doing right now. More so I'm thinking fetch-it quests, like going out into a big enemy camp and fetching stuff from them, so that's probably not what you're talking about anyway, Andrew. Hello, biking it and liking it. It would be interesting riding a bike through Minas Tirith. Yeah, you can get a 78% speed mount at basically any level. Where is the ramp? So I still need to go a little bit for the ramp. Unless I'm totally reading that wrong for some reason, I am missing this ramp. Here it is, okay. I was just totally missing it. Biking and liking it, I don't know about anybody like really skilled at melee combat besides my Guardian. My Guardian just runs around one-shotting things with melee combat. My Warden takes like 20 shots, but on foot I can just kill things, kill mounted enemies at least. On foot, a lot easier. Guess the wrong turn again. Oh no. As long as I don't die by misadventure, that is okay. Yeah, Scratchy Scroll 7, oddly enough, my Guardian is by far my most powerful class character that I've ever done mounted combat on. And that's actually even true when my Guardian is under-leveled compared to the mounted enemies. It is the craziest and most unexpected thing ever, and that's why I feel the need to share it whenever somebody talks about mounted combat, because it's so weird that my Guardian can one-shot things very easily and just do a lot of damage on the war steed. Now I will say a lot of people like Hunter on the war steed, like relatively like the Hunter, and I have not done a Hunter on the war steed and actually bothered with it, but what was I going on about? Yeah, my Guardian, it is the weirdest thing and the craziest thing and nicest thing when actually playing a Guardian. Ooh, wait. So Bike It Like It, he said, Standing Stone Games needs to play up the strengths of the game and downplay the weaknesses. I almost feel like they do, but at the same time I feel like they don't. They like, I think their website, a lot of stuff they have on that is outdated, so they'll like say mounted combat is like a big feature of the game still. At least that I have sometimes seen randomly going on the LOTRO site. So something like that is something that I really think should be downplayed as a weakness and never really done anything. Oh, you have the opposite. A segment and an ad with a video clip of some excellent mounted combat session. I feel like the opposite. I feel like mounted combat is one of the weakest things that LOTRO has to offer. I really don't know anybody that quite enjoys it. Well, some people might enjoy it, I should say. But I think most people don't think it's a good feature. It wasn't implemented in a good way. For me, the most annoying thing is actually mounted enemies and how weak characters become on the war steed. By using a war steed, skills become really weak, except for the Guardian. Now, my Guardian is strong off the war steed, but still relatively strong on the war steed, where I'm actually, again, oddly enough, one-shotting things that are above level for me. Also, my Guardian doesn't even have all that much strength on the war steed. That's another factor, is it is a very poorly built war steed that my Guardian is doing that on, which is why it's extra crazy to me. So if I can't like it, you said my one-shotting is overpowered. Yeah, on my Guardian it might be overpowered. It actually makes mounted combat feel like it should feel to me, which is odd. I know it sounds like an overpowered thing, but mounted combat, I think, makes it feel almost like it should, oddly enough. And then 20-shotting, yeah, 20-shotting is not good. That is sometimes what it feels like on the Warden. It's just a huge contrast on the Warden since they're so strong off combat, off mount at least, and you also lose the gambit system, which is like the thing of the Warden. You lose the gambit system by being on the war steed, so that's a big loss. Big theme of the class that is totally lost on the war steed. And I don't even know, maybe I can't like it that most people suck on the war steed, suck at mounted combat like you say, but they could actually be good in the war steed, and mounted combat is just not good. The other way around, maybe. There's a random person from all the different fellowships. Okay, we're ready to go to the top of Minas Tirith. Oh, actually, atop the wall in the second circle, that's a lot better. And we are done with Book 4, Chapter 9. Woo-wee. So for you, I can't like it, the idea of a promotional ad like that is to show the potential and not the reality. Yeah, that is something they could do. I feel like if they made like an ad like that and put it as like a trailer or something on YouTube, though, it would get so many dislikes and people commenting how bad that actually is. Plus, with Standing Stone Games, some of the trailers they put out, I would not trust them to make a good mounted combat video, to be honest. They have occasionally made good trailers or good parts of trailers. The Wildwood one, that one's an actually interesting one. I don't know if I've talked too much about my thoughts with that, but the most recent trailer they've done, this should already be done, I hope. I hope I can go ahead and turn this in since I've done this epic battle and it functions like player gear. It does, and this one I've also already done. I can just turn those in and get trait points, yay. That was easy. Two of the easiest quests I've ever done. All I had to do was click accept and then click turn in and got 2 trait points and done and done.
We must get to the gate. Tell me when you are ready. To the gate! Few in Middle-earth can defy the Witch King of Angmar.
This is exactly the type of stuff I feel like, based on my character's past experiences, I could have stopped this. Because of how strong your character is just going through the random landscape in LOTRO. It really does give you the sense of maybe being more powerful than you... Oh no, there we go, now I can untarget them. We'll get a cinematic view of this. Also, is OBS randomly totally off, or is that... Okay, that's something else. Now we get a cinematic view. Unfortunately, you all get to see me take up a portion of the cinematic view, but here, I'll actually tell you what I am blocking. I am blocking a dead Gondorian body. Y'all actually got to see him there. Also, don't think I need to click into the game so y'all get smooth FPS, so I get smooth FPS too. I didn't even realize this the whole time. My volume's been very low. See, this is the type of interesting thing. I might actually be able to skip this. I don't know. But this is the type of thing that is definitely neat to see once. And Gandalf, he just totally bit the dust there. Alright. Are y'all ready? We're going to fight the Witch King of Angmar. Oh, he can actually be slowed? What? That should not be possible. He only has 3 million health left. Oh no! This is just like that one quest earlier. I was totally going to kill the Witch King of Angmar there, but the game wouldn't let me. It just... Oh, failed? It actually said failed? The Witch King is victorious? I don't think he was victorious. This game really doesn't like you doing your thing sometimes. Backgammon. Backgammon can actually be fun. I would actually say I get the idea that something like backgammon could be just as good on a PC as like the real physical game, but there's something about the real physical game. I have to try this again, to be honest. Hopefully the story part, since we just saw that, is skippable. We'll actually see if it is. Oh, it actually isn't. Okay, we have to go through this again, unfortunately. I'll actually have it click this time so y'all get smoother FPS. Maybe I'll actually hide my webcam so y'all get to see it better, maybe.
Go back to the abyss. It awaits you.
But I almost, if this was actually skippable, I would actually try to kill the Witch King of Angmar again. Because I really don't know why that failed. I'll have to see what the actual quest objective is. But it's kind of similar to that one quest where you're on a boat and there's the Corsair there. And you have to jump off the boat and run away, retreat from him basically, but you can choose to... I don't remember getting this view last time. I honestly don't. That's really weird. I remember this part though, but I don't remember getting that view where we got to see the Fell Beast, I think it was.
You must protect Peregrine.
Okay, I think we're about to be back. I can turn myself back on. I believe that's the right one, and it is. Okay, so it says escape the enemy and find Peregrine Took. They want me to escape and find Peregrine Took, but I could just like kill the Witch King of Angmar right there. Get it done and over with. This is actually scary. Let me put never surrender up. I don't know what I need to do. I assume escaping means going this way. Where is this guy? Wait for a chance to turn the tables on my captors. I have captors? This is the problem with making you go through so much content in the game. That you really do... This guy only has 516,000 health. It really does give you, I feel like, what is almost a false sense of strength. Like that I really feel like I could take on Gothmog here, for example. That obviously does not go so well, but just that his health number that they actually give him right now is so low. So if I can't like it, you think WoW has a crappy story, and same with Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 I can't really comment too much on. It's something that has never captivated me, so you could kind of say that. With WoW, I think some of the story is good, but the recent story I have not been interested in at all. Remain alert. Alright then.
My lord! Flee, young peregrine!
After him.
Good chance for screenshots of orcs. People didn't, well, I don't know if people didn't like Naruhel in my thumbnail that one time. But it was a topic of interest there. And Peregrine is booking it. I don't know if I've ever seen someone run so fast in LOTRO, even a Guardian on full sprint. It looked like Gothmog was T-posing in a moment there, for a moment. There's my Illumined Hound going through all these adventures with me.
Things I have seen. This must be what will happen.
If I had known I was going to do this, I could have actually put Gothmog in the thumbnail today. I don't even remember what was in my thumbnail. Minas Tirith, the model of Minas Tirith, and my Warden, so some relevant stuff at least. And actually the Warden screenshot was from a previous stream, actually, the last one where we were doing Osgiliath instances, and I was a little bit bugged out. And my shield and spear weren't displaying. Cloak of the Citadel Guard, there it is. That is what I want. So Guild Wars 2, if I can't like it, you say it has a more advanced combat style. I'm actually not a fan of that. I almost feel like, at least at low levels, it feels the opposite of more advanced.
You spoke with the steward.
It's a little bit neat.
Worry is etched upon your face, my friend.
Alright, Cloak of the Citadel Wizard? Is that what it's called? Citadel Guard. Do I want the Adroit, which has Finesse? I need Finesse on this character, or at least needed. I could replace some things with Finesse and get some more optimal gear setup. I could get a bunch of Agility, which kind of iffy on how good that is. Could get more Vitality and Finesse. That's a lot of critical rating though. I don't need the Fate. The Fate is a wasted stat, so I have to keep that in mind. I do think the agility on this actually isn't too bad. This is the point where 590 agility is actually pretty decent in the physical mastery department. The vitality is a little bit low, but I can make that up elsewhere with my gear. The critical rating is good, but due to some recent gear changes, I'm actually decent on critical. I think with crit rating, the main thing is I'm getting where the diminishing returns on that are pretty high. So it's not the most efficient stat. I'm finding the finesse one here really appealing, which I probably shouldn't be finding it so appealing. The critical rating one in general is better for DPS. It's 250-ish. So that's like 750-ish physical mastery, which is a lot more. That is something I need. The physical mastery is the main thing. The finesse versus crit rating. Okay, so I think the top one is more efficient stat-wise, and that's what I was thinking. It's better DPS stats, but it was something worth considering, I think. Now, if I actually remember to not put my trigger essence into this wrist item, I would have put that into the new cloak. And I might actually have an essence reclamation scroll. I'm going to go ahead and use this, I think. Are you sure? Oh, I get to remove all essences? I do actually want to not have that show again. Don't have enough room to do that. Okay. let's free up an inventory slot. Use all these things randomly. And that should be enough for the armlet of Anorien. Anorien, rather. Right. This is the Essence of Physicality. This is the one I want to put on the Flexible Cloak of the Citadel Guard Captain that I have now. My helmet, I don't know where my helmet is, but that is where my helmet is from. Greater Dexterous Helmet of Prowess. That is one of the ugliest helmets I've seen in this game, unfortunately. Okay, so that is what I am going with. I will say the Cloak of Naruhel, or the Carkul Rewoven Fighter's Ward, rather. This one is good for if I really want the defensive boost of it. So this is going to be a cloak if I am tanking or something. I just have to remember to swap to this one. I actually think the Master X-Man, he said about one essence versus two. That is true with this. The essences at this level, at level 100, are not that good though. And I think the amount of stats I get, especially DPS stats as a DPS Warden, is better with the Flexible Cloak of the Citadel Guard Captain. And the cloak I got from Naruhel is more of a defensive cloak, so it's something that is good for that if I need the defenses, and that's actually why I put Vitality in it for extra defenses. The thing is, one issue I guess you could say I'm running into is my morale is getting pretty low. My finesse is also very low. Wow. Did not realize my finesse was that low on this character now. The good news is I have finesse essences, so I can actually put in the armlet of Anorien a finesse essence, and I'm up to 25.6%. I don't know if I want to invest right now another finesse essence. I have to actually look at my gear. This is the exciting part of essences, and with being a little bit of a oddly built character at the moment, I might be able to replace this level 90 bracelet. Okay, the agility is roughly comparable. The morale is less than the vitality, and I'd have to get more critical rating and more finesse, which I could do. I could even put vitality in this and finesse. That might actually be efficient. Okay, let me see what other jewelry I have. Ooh, it'd be hard to match the gleaming earrings of the Veil, just because of how much I don't even care about the physical mitigation too much. It just has so much physical mastery. And the weightless earring, that one has crit and physical, which is good. What other gear do I have to look at? That one has 2 essence slots, that has 2, that has 2, that has 3. Okay, probably can't get much out of that, can't get much out of that, can't get much out of that. This one gives, okay, I could do this and get some physical mastery. Don't think that's quite worth it. Let's see, other armor I have. This one's interesting. I could put a vitality in that. And I could put, yeah, you don't want to do that. This one, not sure on. Depends if I need the finesse and critical rating, if I want this one. And the helmet, oh, that's not even that helmet. Okay, and yeah, biking it, liking it, you're talking about up hunting, so hunting like 3 to 4 levels above you. I agree with that, and that's why I usually like to do quests that are above my level, and why I like leveling characters going through zones. I like to start them with like low level as possible. But yeah, with as far as like building gear, I don't know if this would help anyone with essences and like the flexibility with them. Also, another consideration with my character in general is I'm building my wit virtue up, which should give me a lot more finesse when I actually get that up. So that is another thing. With the virtues, actually, all the flexibility going on there. I could even boost my critical rating, finesse, and all my stuff a little bit. Level 10 virtue isn't going to give me all that much, but it gives me a little bit. I actually do think at this point I can replace honor pretty safely with a DPS or virtue. Even valor, actually I'd rather valor than that, that's right. I want to rank up wit right now, but that is a consideration for my finesse that will go up because of that. My crit rating is super high. So I still have two essence slots on the Armlet of Anorien. This is something, really just have to think about the possibilities. This glove I could get critical rating. So this glove, the medium one that I crafted, used to be worse than the battle scarred ones I have now. That gives me right near the crit cap actually. I think I get 0.8%. Yeah, I get 0.8% crit with the medium armor gloves, or the agility gloves. That's 250.3. That goes to 247.8. So it's technically still the battle scarred are still technically slightly better, but I might be able to more optimize my stats by doing the enduring Fangorn stuff. That also gives vitality. Actually, it's a drop. Anyway, I feel like I'm spending too long looking at the details here with the gear. So yeah, so for you biking it like it sounds like you play a hunter, I guess. So for you doing stuff under-leveled, you actually get to use like 6 different bow shots. My hunter got to use a little bit more under-leveled, but things went by on my hunter at least super fast in general with combat. But yeah, I'm thinking with the gear, it's something I will have to look at. I don't know if I want to spend this whole stream, the rest of the stream, just looking at the gear and thinking about the possibilities. But what I do want to do, so for my character, we saw with critical rating, just for example, going up 300 and the critical rating, 29.1. Oh, something changed. I must have misread that. Oh, here it is. Going up almost 2,000 in the critical rating didn't even give me 1% crit chance, which is the main thing to look at with that, the crit chance. So that is a lot of critical rating for a very small amount relatively of crit chance compared to physical mastery. If I get just 1,000 physical mastery, that's more effective actually than the critical rating. I think it's almost like 3%, something roughly like that. 189.8, so 190-ish to 192. A little over 2%, maybe 2.5% physical mastery percent versus 1% crit for half the amount of physical mastery. So that is why 1 point of physical mastery generally is more worth it than 1 point of critical rating. I think that shows why. And the point is, with my gear, I don't even remember the point, to be honest. I wonder, I need to switch to the red line. I can see my stats a lot better in the red line. I'm actually getting really close to capped on all the offensives. I might even be capped on all the offensives, to be honest, once I get like scrolls and captain buffs if we're actually to raid. So I might just put a bunch of vitality in my stuff. Maybe one more essence, finesse essence. But I really do think I'm at the point where I just want to equip vitality. So I'll put this in the Armlet of Anorien. After all that, I decided that I want mainly vitality. Okay, so got that. We got the one bracelet I have. And then I might be able to... I have one more. I have something else. Yeah, I have this bracelet. This one, I'd lose a little bit of agility, morale. It's only if I want to drop the crit and finesse. I don't think I want to drop those necessarily. Now this one, if I equip this, I'm gonna go back to the yellow line for this. I don't think the physical mastery won't drop too much. It'll drop 1,000-ish. The crit's 25.8. 26.2, so that's like 0.4% crit chance. 194.9 to 197.3, so it's a little over 2% physical mastery once again. And I can replace that. One essence would cover the agility worth of physical mastery from that. But then the question is, would 2 vitality essences even be worth it, or 1 finesse essence? And I don't think so. So I don't think I'll be equipping the essence shoulder pads here. What I do think is I could potentially equip this bracelet. I think it was this bracelet. Yeah, this bracelet, and maybe get a little bit more out of this. I would have to do a finesse and maybe a physical mastery or critical rating essence, and I don't think that would be worth it either. So I'll settle on the gear. It feels like it took like half an hour to do any of that stuff, but that is usually how I think about my gear and the efficiency of the stats, with the essences versus the regular static gear and what I need for my character. Which, of course, for the red line, I still need a ton of finesse, and the yellow line, I could use a tiny bit of finesse, but again, I'm working on the wit and even the valor virtue going there. So for you, I can't like it to get to the chat. You said sitting at a desk is destroying your health, but it's odd. Your upper legs are very strong. So you're cycling, it sounds like, which fits your name there. Yesterday 30 miles and today more than 20. That sounds like a lot of miles. I might use a bike when I actually go commute to like work, school, but it would be a lot shorter than the amount of distance like that for me. Okay, so for the rest of the stream, we finished the big thing that I wanted to finish, which was what we have for Volume 4, Book 4. I do have Volume 4, Book 3, and a lot of stuff in Pelennor that I can do, but I think for the rest of the stream, we've been here a while. It's after 11 o'clock for me, and we did the gear, spent a lot of time unintentionally on that, but it was good for this character to get all that stuff. Also with the critical rating, one thing to consider is if I equip the old cloak, how low my crit probably gets. 23.1 versus the new one. It goes all the way up to 24.2. That does not seem right. Getting off the war steed is 29. Okay, that seems right. So I just need to go to the stable master, that's right. I'm really happy to have gotten that done though, the book quest there. I'll have to investigate with after Battle Minas Tirith which book quest you actually need to do and if you can start in the middle when we get to that, but that is for the future of the server, which I'm slightly preparing for. I know these aren't really like 105 prep streams yet, but in a way they're kind of like that.
Gondor needs your
Anyway, now I got all that done, everything's taking me forever to actually do anything, but I think I'll go to the North Gate and do that. We'll do those set of quests and that'll finish the Pelennor quest for me. So if I can't like it, you say for your computer, you'd have to set up a recliner or gaming chair. I would recommend maybe avoiding gaming chairs. Maybe they're made better now, but what I have heard about gaming chairs is they're usually not that good for long-term sitting. And for me personally, the looks of them, it seems like they're more made for their looks. I have sat in a few. I don't know the exact brands that I have sat in, but there are people I know that have gotten them. And they all don't feel like they have much support or aren't comfortable. Yeah, convertible desk, I hear a lot about those. That'd be tough, I think. I guess it could potentially work with setup I have like right now, but maybe not too well. And also, I cannot, oddly enough, OBS randomly went like all half screen on me. No. Do I have like black screen? When did that happen? What is going on with my stream? How long have I had this black screen? That is so weird. Okay. I just randomly looked over. I don't even know how this happened, if I did something or what happened to cause that. But sorry for the game to be totally off center. I have no idea how that happened. I'm surprised nobody commented that. I was like, looks like that was going on in Minas Tirith Besiege. It had been going on almost an hour that the screen was totally off and there was black on the bottom right. I really have no idea how that happened in OBS. I just like looked over and saw that OBS looked all funky.
How may I help you, friend?
And that happened. Anyway, I will get on with the quest here. So this is probably the last thing I'm planning on doing today is just assisting the Builders Fellowship and doing these quests. I guess I'll go ahead and accept this. This is something I can do. But this will complete the Quest of Pelennor deed for me. So we'll have knocked out today Talath Anor, Volume 4, Book 4. And after this, the Pelennor. And I need to cancel some quests. So Spring Festival. I'll go ahead and cancel that. Coins of Narihel I'm probably not going to do. Not enough people to run tier 3 with consistently. I don't know if I'll go to the Dead Marshes. I'll keep that if I can get all these quests. I think I only canceled 2 quests though. Probably need more slots. Yep, get more slots.
We can only hope that the LOTRO will arrive before it's too late. When the time comes to fight.
Cancel the Broadacre ones. Okay, we'll cancel random Central Gondor repeatable quests that I don't have done.
Is this your first time in Minas Tirith? Shame you couldn't see it in better days.
So these do take a while to do. I just have to make sure I stay on track with the supplies. If I can get the supplies, I think I only need to get 2 or 3 on the walls and then I am good. Maybe don't even need to get that many. And then as we go along the wall, somehow we have done this enough that I set up a little bit of an efficient path. I am in the yellow line, that is good. I know I was switching around my specs, testing out the gear and all that sort of stuff. But I am in the yellow line here as I want to be. I do need to go to the tops here. I need to destroy some stuff, I believe, or something, or raise some Gondor flags. I honestly don't remember. Plant banners of Gondor. That was actually a little bit close. I feel like banners have flags. That is probably relatively the same thing, I guess. Okay, the main thing I forgot the last time, there's a lot of enemies, but it will be dealt with in a moment. So by can't like it, I mostly sit at work. The main thing is with my work is like with streaming is this is actually when I sit still the most. I don't even sit all that still, but I actually usually have to get up and like stretch frequently. Let's see, am I dropping frames or is my stream just going all bonkers lately? That is one thing with the streams about nobody actually noticing the black box going around that whole time. I know a lot of people like listen to it, maybe listen to it in the background, and could possibly have been what happened there. So I need to remove 5 more hooks. I see 4 here, but I believe there's another section of the wall. Wow, I actually used some bad gamut there. And Banners of Gondor, I can also get the last banner up there, I believe. Guess I clicked the hook, which is okay because I got it done. But click that before I actually hit the enemy, and I somehow use Gambit default. I don't know what sort of sequence of buttons I pushed, but Gambit Masteries obviously didn't go off, and I ended up using... what's it called? Yeah, Gambit default. Okay, one more hook I believe, and then one more banner I can plant at the top. I do have to kill the 2 named NPCs. If we track nearby quests, those should come up. Oh, it says to destroy Suhalar supplies. I thought I already destroyed one. It shouldn't be a problem that I missed the north one on the north. Yeah, so with convertible desk, the problem is that is super expensive, and that's the main problem with me actually getting a convertible desk. And I also live in an apartment right now. And what I have a utility table, which is like super budget and oddly enough super nice. It's really crazy how I guess it depends on what people have, what they like, but it is plastic, so it's not like as nice as a desk, but this utility table is like 6 feet wide. I think it's 6 feet wide, so it's really huge. So there could be space concerns for people, but compared to buying a desk of the same size, like one made out of wood, or even as long as it would take, it may be a little bit tough building one. It'd be fun for me. Maybe, besides all the planning, which I think with building furniture would be a lot of that. But anyway, setting that aside, it's a lot cheaper than regular desks. Like ones made out of wood, of course, for the size it is. I think I talked about this, I don't really remember with my setup video, because that was like half setup video, half webcam video. I don't think I went into all the details of all my equipment and that type of stuff, but with the desk, the utility table, I just really like it because of how nice it is for being a budget option and how much space it gives me, especially since I do spend a lot of time at my desk here. Okay, not seeing too many supplies out on this corner. I did defeat one of the named NPCs. I kind of barely remember that, but it was at the wall. I do have to watch out. They might give me some bleeds, the enemies, so I'll have to pay attention to that. Actually, I just got 2 bleeds. The bleeds do a lot of damage, that's why they're a big concern. If I can get a resolution, I cannot too much lag. That was unfortunate. I every time I want to blame lag on a death, it feels like an excuse, but that actually did mess up my Gambit builder. It got me locked in the animation of Impressive Flourish, and I wasn't able to use a potion or Never Surrender. So that is what happened with the lag there. Again, I know that's something, even to me it sounds like just an excuse type thing for dying, but it just was ultimately unfortunate with skipping a Gambit mastery. And that, I think, shows why. Oh, we need to get that Loman Hound out. That is probably half my issues. I don't even think I had him out before. That is why lag can be very annoying on a Warden, because it caused that whole sequence of events just missing the one Gambit Mastery there. Alright, I'm actually doing good on the supplies. I feel like I haven't gone through too much of this, but got a good set of supplies. And I actually am going to be up to 8 after this one. With the enemies, this Suhalar, I've actually completed that Slayer deed, that advanced one. I don't know if I just did. I feel like I saw like a Virtue XP thing come up, so I might have done actually that in these set of quests. So biking, I like it. Sounds like you do a lot of biking, which again, that just fits your name. I think Sniper Arrow, that skill the Sihular was casting there. Just need one more supply, but I actually have to go, or want to, I don't know if I have to go down here. I believe the named NPC can be down here, but there's a supply here. I need to defeat Hurasana. And that is, oh, I thought that was one of the named NPCs. He looked like an extra fancy Sihular, but don't see any of them there. I know there can be one of the signatures back there, but according to the map, that is not a possible spot for this particular one I need. I will keep floating names on. Here it is. Hurasana. I think I called him Hisana. It's Hurasana. He shall be swift. Shall be swift in dying, maybe. Oh, I thought I saw something, the book 3, chapter 3, that was like defeat Haradrim in Upper Lebanon, but that was for a different quest that is for book 3, chapter 3 of volume 4. Alright, got all those done. I also should have gotten the quest of Pelennor done, that deed. So let's go to Gondor, Old Anorien. Not far Anorien, Old Anorien. And we are good progress overall. Got Orc Slayer of Old Anorien. We're on the advanced of that now. For some reason I thought I was on the base of that. I've actually completed one Slayer, so we did Easterlings. Again, it would be nice if I could somehow line those up to be done. Oh, I just need one more quest of Old Anorien. I just need the roaming enemies deed. But it would be nice to line those up for the
Gondor needs your
for the, what am I thinking about? For the Virtue XP weekend. But that is really all I have planned for this stream again. I forgot to do all my outro stuff, but we can head to Minas Tirith and I can start doing that. So briefly, I'm going to try to do a video tomorrow. I don't know exactly what it will be on, but I'll try to do a video tomorrow, no guarantees. Don't plan on streaming tomorrow. I'll plan to have a break from that, and that'll actually save Saturday. I'll plan to do a longer stream. Friday, I just need to get, even regardless of having a video potentially that day, I need to get some other stuff done. And let's see, Sunday, I am not entirely sure. Might also take that off and work on videos. I think that could be good for Monday. And that's also Easter Sunday, I believe. Kind of forget that's already coming up. And that's why I have a holiday, 4-day weekend coming up. So you don't need the major essence of resistance, so we can delete that. We'll go to this, browse, shop, and got a couple of physical mastery essences now. That's exciting. Need to save my Nari Hell Cloak. And yeah, if I can't like it, I have been streaming a lot lately. But that's because I have run out of a lot of my early year projects, I think, with videos, so just more time to stream rather than working on those videos. But still plan to do videos as normal. It's not like I'm streaming and, well, I guess I'm streaming and not working on videos, but this is basically my chance to play LOTRO. Ooh, we can also look at the Anorien tree, all that stuff. Looks like I could get one of that and go through the whole gear, looking at all the gear again with that. Also have to look at this cosmetic set, I believe. I have nearly the full set. Don't have the shoulder pads, so actually, if this is the same cosmetic, I would like to get the shoulder pads that match just for that. I don't know. If it dyes well, if all this can dye red and look good, that would be... I am in the mood for something red for my character. And no, I can't like it. I do not do SEO. It's too late for me to actually properly think. Yes, I do. If you're talking about search engine optimization, that is something with my descriptions and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I kind of actually like this. It almost looks a little Warden-ish, but I think it works for a Warden as well. Seems like it'd work for a red line Warden though. I do have to point out I primarily play the yellow line, but or looks like a good bleeding themed outfit. If I actually dye my back red, oh, that is like perfect. All right, I think it's settled that I'm going to get that, but I will save that later. So again, cover the upcoming content and review. We made a lot of progress, and that is the whole theme of this Warden lately: progress, progress, and progress. All sorts of places. So just a little bit of review. We did Talath Anor. Finished the quests of Talath Anor. I still have quests in Talath Anor, but I finished that deed. Also did the warbands of Talath Anor. For Pelennor and the rest of Old Anorien, I still have a lot to do there, but I did do the quests of Pelennor deed. I will do the warbands and the other stuff, the Slayer deeds, exploration, all that stuff later. Probably going to take a break from that. Did Minas Tirith finish the book quest, so in the next Warden stream, which I plan on being Saturday at this point, I will probably go back and do book 3 at least, and otherwise I'm not sure. I could just go around and do different things for fun. With the quests and deeds in Gondor, maybe Osgiliath, all sorts of different possibilities that are open for a Saturday. I could even just go ahead and do all the deeds if that is what ends up happening. Could do a lot of Slayer stuff. And Western Gondor, I cannot forget about this, but there's a lot of stuff in Western Gondor. Dol Airmouth could go back to that and do, what's it called? Can't even think of the place right now. Tarling's Crown, that is the name of that place. So a lot of possibilities for Saturday. And Andrew McKinnon, yeah, probably not Hubnanigans. That's actually something I could actually try, maybe? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know if I've actually properly done Hubnanigans ever. That is almost a good point for something for me to potentially consider trying. But anyway, that is, in review, what I have done and what to look forward to on this Warden, and as we continue the mini series of the Warden's Gondor. And as far as this stream goes, I hope you all enjoyed it, and hope you maybe enjoyed, I don't think the stream element spot actually did anything, but hope you enjoyed the content, and with the face cam, getting that more oriented compared to the last one, I think a little bit works out a little bit better for me. And with all that, again, I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content like Andrew McKinnon and Ivan Stainer, who was here earlier, at least that I remember, members here. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.